Okay. You're wanted.
And 3, 2, 1. Shawn,
Hello.
we're live, buddy.
Cool. Cool.
So cypherpunk, man. So cypherpunk.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. Thanks, man. Thanks for inviting.
Brilliant, bro. I've been nagging you for an Indaba now about keep the mic about a fist distance, bro. Yeah, there we go. Been nagging you for an Indaba for about what? Nearly a month now. More than that, 2 months now.
Yeah.
Finally, you've accepted.
That's cool. Yeah, because my shitty NDA stuff. Yeah, now it's expire. I'm free again, so I can talk whatever fuck what I want. Yeah, here I am.
Good, man. Good. Yeah.
So, cheers.
Cheers, bro. Cheers. Now, Shawn, you're the perfect person I want to talk to you about. I don't know, like security-related stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe what we can do is we started basically high-level stuff.
Yeah.
We can start looking at like maybe state-level threat actors. We can look at like Big Brother, that sort of thing. And then I'd like to sort of like drill down slowly, step by step, and come to the point of like you're the founder of the Hardened Linux project. I'd like to hear, the story about that. But, we got like a good 3 hours to sort of knock through. Plenty of time to do stuff. So, like maybe we can also start, I suppose it's also kind of like a little bit different for us because, we're drinking buddies, right?
Yeah, exactly,
we go to man caves often. So it's like now it's like we've got that familiarity that we need to sort of like, realize that actually,
right.
we're being recorded now, right? So
Right. Yeah, just be natural.
Yeah, sure.
Try harder to be fucking yourself, and that's it. Yeah,
that's right, bro. That's right. Okay, so what's the state of security now on a global stage? Like there's some stuff that you mentioned, like with the Russians. I don't know if you want to. You basically open stuff up. You've told me stuff in confidence, and I don't know what.
Okay.
Actually,
the security is a very wide topic, but I think if we want to really discuss it, there are multiple levels. If we're talking about the nation, the stake actors, that's a cyber war. That's inevitable. It happens every day, and every nation just want to messing around with their other party, even in some nominal allies, even within the Five Eye or those European countries, not from within the Five Eye. Yeah, they have some quarrels.
I'm going to stop you from time to time. I hope this doesn't sort of get in your rhythm. As Luigi says that, this Indaba with you is going to be like like trying to tame a wild stallion. Right, and like some of the stuff I need to sort of like like
there. Damn.
No. Well, at least I was discussing with Luigi about this. So like one of the things is like what do you mean by Five Eyes?
Yeah, okay. The Five Eyes just like intelligence communities. Yeah, between 5 countries: United States, UK, and Australia, Canada, and New Zealand. And those 5 countries, they share the information they have, and they share intelligence. So that's Five Eyes. But you can clearly see it. It's all English-speaking country, and there's for now UK is out of the euro, so there's no European Union countries inside of it. So that's why from my perspective, I think from the European country, they have their own threat model then to against this kind of the threats from the Five Eye, but maybe not much as Russia and China, but they do.
Yeah, I recall you mentioned that the European Union are looking to set up the equivalent of a great firewall of Europe, similar to the situation that China has got set up. What do you know about that?
I don't know much about it because I know that story and a bit. There's a consulting firm based in Hamburg, and they since this proposal about building the firewall like the GFW, the Great Firewall of China's similar like the solution applied to the EU, but I don't know. I think it's not feasible for now because a lot of people don't like it, and even from the security perspective on the technical stuff, you build a firewall. It doesn't mean to guarantee you the real safety or real secure, and you still need a bunch of other things to do. But from my perspective, the right things which the European Union they have been doing is the projects like the Horizon 2020,
Right.
and they have a bunch of good projects, and even though they also have funding the cutting edge technology to solve the social issues like the to help the fact check communities. And you know the blockchain as well. Then there's a new funding from the EU Commission for the waterproof project, which is to helping the people to how to identify those false news and misinformation. It's happened all the time. I like those approaches. From the EU.
Yeah, I mean, like, I find some of the stuff that's coming out that Horizon 2020 has done is to be really interesting. I mean, they seem to have selected really good people. For example, if you look at the dude behind NLNet is like I think it's Netherlands Net. It's like one of the original organizations that grew up during the early stages of the internet. And basically it's like it started off, I think it was on taxpayer money where they would like sponsor people to, develop out projects. And basically they were, for many years, they were sort of like on subsistence level. And I think the guy's name is Michael. And anyway, like Horizon 2020, the guys contacted him and said, okay, dude, like, we recognize your organization. Here's a load of money. Can you like help us distribute it to good people? This guy's old school hacker.
Wow.
This guy's an old school hacker, and the stuff that they're doing, I'm like, wow, okay, that's hat tip to them. But there's like I think there's about 22 different organizations that are involved at helping distribute the Horizon 2020 money. So I mean, I would love to see that sort of stuff out here in Asia.
It's not gonna happen.
Why not?
Because I think the core problem here is in Europe. I mean, there's a bunch of people. I mean, the individuals, they care about their security, they care about their privacy, and that's why they try to support those organizations, including the Free Software Foundation Europe, like this one.
Right.
They have this new movements in recent years to trying to persuade those public funding projects in the Euro government and to make the open source, make all the source code public, and it's called the public money, public codes. And they done really good stuff, and there are the other more organizations in Europe, and those people really support about it. This is this is very different the situation we have here and the other countries in Asia.
But you're one of the you're also a bit of a pioneer when it comes to there's different sources of open source. Free software mentality, isn't there? There's like the European mentality, which is like sort of like share and share, like the old original hacker sort of approach. Then you've got the I suppose you can say the American one is kind of a little bit different, isn't it? They do the open core model and then they develop stuff on top of it. Generally speaking, obviously, there's loads of GPL stuff and over there in America too. But then the Asian stuff it has its own sort of flavor, like Shanzai. Are you familiar with Shanzai?
Copycat.
Am I saying Shanzai correctly?
Yep.
Oh yeah. So,
You speak it well.
yeah, but Shanzai doesn't actually make use of the concept of licenses so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like you sort of pay to enter a group of. Maybe you can describe what Shanzai is.
Okay, Shenzai, sort of the copycat. Uh, yeah, actually, what do you want to know about it? It's like
Well, what is
the
it? I mean,
hardware manufacturer.
no, I mean, well, yeah, I mean that it also
Yeah.
includes the hardware side of things, but not so much the software. I mean, the software
Okay.
is just pretty much like Android copies,
Oh,
isn't it?
yeah,
But I
yeah,
mean, like,
yeah.
like how does Shanzai work?
Oh,
Let's say,
yeah.
yeah, that's basically what I'm
Okay.
asking is like,
Okay, yeah,
how does
yeah.
it work?
It's like okay, for now, the China is the world of the factory, right? So we have a bunch of the the low cost the electronic components. And when you have those resources as a very basic electronic element or components, then all you need to do is like to pick and place, and to do the soldering and automation, and that's it. And but for now, in past few years, then the whole world has been changing, and for even for now, yeah, during the COVID-19, people are discussion about maybe it'll be possible to do the paradigm shift of those supply chain from China to the other country. For example, like the Mexico and the Vietnam, it will be the next of the um, the massive factories maybe moving there from China. And but actually, I don't give a shit about the supply chain. But those whole process of this paradigm shift from China to other country, there's one thing I'm really interested in. It's open source technology. And how does open source technology to play the roles under this shift, paradigm shift? And as far as I know, I figure out there are some open source projects. For example, like if you want to build a hardware, you need a PCB, right? But once you have those electronic components you need, then you need the machines to do the pick and place. But actually, this is an open source. There's an open source implementation for the pick and place protocols, and then for now there are some people just building the open hardwares, behind it. And then once you have the pick and place machines, and then you just need just like you put those the elements on the right position on the PCB, then you need to do a little bit of the heating, like the soldering. So yeah, you also can find those open source implementations of this soldering automation machines. Then you can buy it, and there are some new companies doing this from Mexico, U.S., and Europe. So I would say that maybe we really see this regional supply chain ecosystem to be formed in next couple of years. Yeah, that's the one thing that's really interesting about. But just get back to the Shenzai or Copycat. Once you have this schematic or the PCB layouts, that you can build the things you want. It doesn't matter if you violate this license or not, because as far as we know, most of those hardware products are not based on the open source license. So that's the problems though those vendors, commercial vendors, they are really worried about. But there are some technology you can do the anti the privacy sorry,
DRM stuff, right?
Yeah, DRM stuff for the hardware version. It's like the fingerprint stuff, and or like the watermarking to prevent those foundry or the PCB factories to do the overproduce, and then to these sales on the lower price than their customers. Yeah, those technology, they are all exist out there, but just from my perspective, I care about how the open source technology is gonna grow during the next shift of this supply chain.
Well, yeah, you mean the shift out of China, because China doesn't necessarily follow the licenses, but do you expect that as countries have become more and more aware of supply chain hits in the form of like, COVID-19 affecting supply chains, there is a growing understanding that we need to move production lines home to a large degree, and one of them is electronics, right? So do you think that when you say you're more interested in how these supply chain shifts are going to change, is that you're interested in the supply chains moving back into countries which respect licenses, and as a result that work sort of becomes licensed and then fully reusable, and like maybe share and share like licenses, and then as a result what happens is that more countries who are also looking at improving their supply, their own production chains or supply chains, start to leverage off the original licensing, the licensing of other countries. So as a result, it could potentially become a force which is potentially stronger than what China's doing at the moment. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, could be. Yeah, there are. I mean, there could be the multiple options that we have, but I think the different countries might take the different approaches. For example, like the U.S., right? They have those countries like Mexico, and
right.
They signed those new contracts about those the free trade zone and for next decades, and this country is already effective immediately after July, and so they can set up those factories and to build up their regional supply chains, maybe based on the Mexico, but from the European side, the European Union, they signed this contract with Vietnam for like the free tax it's like.
Did you say Vietnam?
Vietnam, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Vietnam. Yeah, sorry for my pronunciation.
No problem, bro. No problem.
Yeah. So I just.
Hey, dude, you want to check out the microphone? So like. Yeah.
It's red. Yeah.
No. I mean, like, position it about a fist distance.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
sure.
the audio gets a bit messed.
That's good. Yeah, it's good. Heads up.
Okay, so Europe is looking at
the Vietnam. They already signed this new the trade contracts for lower the tax and even to the zero tax, like 7 years from now. And they are doing things. For example, even in one of the Horizon 2020 program, it's open source HSM, the hardware security module, which means
cool.
You can store your private keys.
You showed me that project. What was it? BitLocker, wasn't it?
No,
what was it?
No, not BitLocker. There's a two program. The one is European aerospace. They've been using is called Cryptor. Another one. Damn. Yeah, probably. I need to figure out.
No problem.
So, they have this projects, and they have this open source name. But they also have the code name then behind the Horizon 2020, and but actually those open source HSM, they all have to be built and assembly inside of Europe, which means, the supply chain is moving back.
So is that one of the stipulations that the Horizon 2020 project imposes on the funding, which is that we'll give you money, but as long as the construction, the production of these things are handled in Europe. It sounds a bit strict, don't you think? It's like if you were running a business and somebody gave you money, you would want to find ways to find the cheapest way of manufacturing it, right?
No, I don't think so. Because from my from security perspective, actually those technologies open source. Yeah, because this is open source project. But the problem is you have to find the one factories which is trustworthy to you,
Right.
which we are because lowering the risk of the some people can modify it. Yeah, for example, like even on the chip level in the foundry or in the PCB levels on the
Yeah.
PCB factory, because we already know those stories which been disclosed by Edward Snowden back in 2013. So
Yeah.
so from my I think the European peoples they learn from it. So they make this decision.
Yeah. Snowden cracked things open quite a lot for a lot of people back in the day. Yeah. So other than the movement of the the shifting of the supply chains to European countries, we were discussing Shanzai. So that's I don't know. My impression of Shanzai was a little bit different.
Mhm.
Basically, it works around like you get Chinese companies, and what they do is they sort of subscribe or pay a certain amount of money to join a particular group,
Mhm.
and in that group they share design files
Mhm.
with each other.
Mhm.
So they don't pay any licensing or anything like that. You just pay. No, technically, you pay entrance fee or a monthly maintenance fee. I'm not sure how it works. And then you can get any design, and then you just make a few modifications. But you need to share your modifications. For example, maybe a larger camera, more memory or something. You need to share those designs with that group again.
I see.
And then from there, anyone can utilize your design change. And this is the reason why you can walk into I forgot the name of that market in Shenzhen, and you can pick up mobile phones for like the freaking dirt cheap, and it's like customized mobile phones that look like little race car toys, like so many different designs and whatnot. It's crazy when you go there. Like I've seen Western people just walking around like their freaking jaw is dropping on the floor just to see the kind of stuff that is available there, and I think it's kind of difficult for you're going to move all of that, the whole like Taobao, basically Taobao.
Yeah.
You're going to move all of that to other countries. Oh man. I think this is one of the better things about China is Taobao, bro.
Right. Exactly.
Taobao is like a force of nature. That it's it's you can build like vacuum systems at a fraction of the price compared to like the European components that you would purchase from Europe, which are like or America is like 10 times the price. Sure, the stuff you can get on Taobao is it's
I think that's the advantage of those supply chain in China. But I mean, for the general public, those off the shelf those products, maybe it's more cheaper. You build this from China, but I'm not sure if it is comparable to the other Asia country like the Vietnam or Malaysia. Because I only focus on those security projects. Yeah.
Right.
So that's why I care about the regional the supply chain. Then it's very necessary.
right.
And as I talked to some of my friends at the previous Congress in Germany.
So for our audience, what do you mean by the Congress?
The Congress. It means the Congress.
The Congress.
Yeah, the Congress. It's the biggest hacker conference in Europe, and from my perspective, it's the best hacker conference in this planet. And it's the full name is Chaos Communication Congress. And it's hosted. It was initially started by the Chaos Computer Club back in the 80s in Germany.
Yeah. Shawn, do you want to move on to the cigar, bro?
Sure. Yeah,
I need to do some prep. I have to close doors and open doors and do sort of stuff to get ventilation going. Yeah, we don't want. Okay. There should be a lighter. You have a seat over there, bro. Do you have a lighter?
I have a lighter.
Oh, you have a lighter. Oh, excellent. Okay, cool, man. Actually, I've got matches over here, so. I've got my means to light my cigar, and you've got your means to light your cigar. Ah, great. Yeah, I think also maybe what we can do is also sort of go into your background, because thanks, bro. Because from my experience, it's kind of hard finding somebody with such a deep sort of like knowledge as well as background in like the European old school hacker mentality approach. Yeah. And even more rarer finding it in Asia. So I think there's a story there. And I think you should. It's totally up to you, bro.
Yeah.
Like I know it, but I think it would be good to sort of share with us, like, who's Shawn Chang, right?
Okay. Well, yeah. Actually, what's the question?
So what? Okay.
You are the interrogator. You ask the fucking question, and then I decide if I ask or not. Right?
I thought that was enough to sort of like lead you on, so that you can reveal as much as you want to reveal.
Yep.
So right, you were born in Chengdu, right?
Yep.
And then like, how did you come to Hong Kong? At what point did you decide, there's something, I'm referring to, all these sorts of things,
Yeah, like ID software.
All right, yeah, ID software, exactly. Yeah, exactly. How did all of these little things sort of like have a role in creating the Shawn that we know today?
Interesting. Well, yeah, I was born in Chengdu. I grew up there. And when I was a kid, but maybe when I was 8, it was my first time to play the PC game, and then of course that's where I met the Doom, the first product of the ID software I've ever played back in the 90s, and it was awesome, but. I really want to make this story short, because then first I met ID software, I played Doom, I played Quake, I really love this game. It's fucking awesome because I just know it. This is the something not come from my fucking culture, not come from Chengdu. There's lazy people. There's like 10 years. There's like, making their trust and belief in the green tea and the hot pot and the cargo carts, the people, the cultural things in Chengdu. That's definitely not from my culture. Then I try to figure out if this is not from my culture, where does it come from? And then I try to figure out something which is related to the game culture of the 90s in US. And then I read the Master of Doom, which is the book released in 2004. Then I started my journey, my hacking journey on the philosophical side.
Right.
And then I down to the rabbit hole. Yeah, it's pretty much deja vu when I was down to the rabbit hole on the x86. On the Intel ME shit, and but back then I was down to the rabbit holes from the game culture to those movements happened in the United States during the 90s.
What movements are you referring to?
Yeah, for example, like the anti-war.
Right.
But during the same period of time, there was the first the hackerspace. What was the name? Shit.
In Chengdu?
No. No, in US. The first
Noise Bridge.
No.
Wasn't it Noisebridge? Wasn't this Mitch Altman
Uh,
and
it
Jonas
it
Jonas
was,
Carlson and
no, it
Jacob
was,
Applebaum?
no, it was a club which the Bill Gates was involving with back in the.
Oh, Homebrew.
Yeah, homebrew. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, those guys.
Yeah, those guys.
Yeah.
The homebrew, and I figured out the homebrew. Then what they try to do? For example, like there's Stephen Levy. He made this red up like if you were hackers back in the 70s, and the people just ask you. What about your project? What about your customized hardware, sort of shit? And but when the time moved to 80s, then the hackers greetings. Okay, what about your OS? Yeah, what about your operating system? Everybody's write your own fucking operating system. Yeah, it's like it's not rocket science, and even back then. And then 90s, okay, more new school stuff, and I rather not talk about it to avoid to messing with a bunch of people. And but let's back to the 70s. Yeah, when I figure out what the guys are really trying to do, and I figure out this kind of culture is very special. Yeah, to me, it's very special because I grew up in Chengdu. I grew up in the maybe the one of the laziest, one of the relaxed culture around the world, and I didn't understand why those people was doing those shit, and then I try to read more the history, the bunch of stuff, and then I finally find the one man is called William James. He's a practical philosopher of the United States in the early 20th centuries, and then my approach was simple. It's like I just asked myself, who influenced these two? You know what? There's a Danish, the philosopher. His name is Søren Eli Kierkegaard. He's a kind of the religion existentialism of the 19th centuries. But who influenced him? I found out two guys, the Blaise Pascal, and another guy is very old. He's the author of the Trinity. He's the also author of the City of God. And he's the author of the Confession, St. Augustine. Yeah, but who influenced this guy? Everybody knows that St. Paulo. Yeah. That's Speaking of St. Paulo, I really the Saloniki, one of cities, and then St. Paulo visit there in Greece, actually in the Great Macedonia area, and it was a nice city. Yeah, even 2,000 years after St. Paulo, and that's pretty much my the hiking journey, and you're down there, but due to I'm speak about my philosophical hiking journey in the front of the internet, I'd rather not to talk about my personal religious.
We don't need to go down there.
Yeah, we don't need to go down.
No,
there.
I just wanted to get like a sort of like an overall, feel for who Shawn is. My mate, my buddy. Oh yeah. There you go, bro. My mate, my buddy, the guy behind Hardened Linux. Now, okay. So basically, also, I'm trying to highlight that there's more to it than just there's more to Shawn than just like Hardened Linux and the dude with the sunglasses smoking cigars over there. We're talking about a multi-layered fellow over here, and yeah, well, okay. Maybe we can start to sort of like unravel what is big government, Big Brother,
mm-hmm.
and what are they doing? Like,
okay.
what's their motivations? And some of the techniques and some of the technologies that have sort of come into place, which allow them to do this.
Okay. Who is Big Brother? I guess all of the audience of the Indaba knows who is a big brother. Those fuckers, they do the massive surveillance. Those fuckers, they leak your fucking data and to the government agencies, to the cybercrime, to the, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, maybe the other parties. But what makes them tick in the first place? They want control. Philosophically, they want control. They want design. They want to take control, everybody's life in control. They want to know what kind of information you've been reading. They try to predict what kind of action you will take, what kind of the way of thinking you're gonna dive. Yeah, I think that's the motivation they have. That all countries' big brothers, they does the fucking the same. In the one way or another. In US, we have the ways which been disclosed by Edward Snowden. In China, okay, I'd rather not to talk about it. The Russia, yeah, even in the Europe, yeah, we still have this kind of problem. So Israel, yeah, Tel Aviv, yeah, they have a bunch of the highly skilled technical guys and to doing such things, but actually, why I try to started Hardened Linux? I just try to. My first motivation is try to protect myself. I need to figure out the how it works and how the offensive technology involved and how to customize your own defensive solution, yeah, based on the open source. Yeah, that's my goal. Though I mean. If you are an individual or the small organizations, and if you are willing to spend a bit of time, maybe 3 to 6 months, and a bit of the money, like to buy some hardware devices like the x86 machines and or laptop, which can running on those open source firmware and the software, then you are able to protect yourself. Yeah, in some sense, yeah, because in the threat model we have the different the adversary. Yeah, there's a national, the states adversary. There's a cybercrime, and there's the skadies like scraping kids.
The what?
Scrap kids. Yeah, scraping kids, and then. Yeah, they have the different motivation, but these days, of course, those states-based the player and the cyber criminals, they are play the big roles for now.
Yeah. So Big Brother basically are their goal is power, and well, I mean, yeah, I use a rather conservative thing by saying Big Brother, implying all of the different stuff, because all of them have the same sort of incentives, motivations. Maybe what you can do is you can sort of like break down or go over, summarize some of the Edward Snowden stuff, maybe some from your own experiences, what you've seen in the wild. Sort of like elaborate on this. Basically, what is it that? Yeah, my mum likes to watch these Indabas. This Indaba is definitely not for my mum. and I think we can assume that. But I think I should imagine that there's a large amount of technical people out there, or smart people, who might not necessarily be in the computer world. Maybe programmers or hackers or whatnot.
Yeah.
But would come away with more understanding about what exactly people are facing, from mobile phones to
Yeah.
to smart televisions.
Yeah.
By the way,
I
I
like
just
to-
I was chatting with Luigi last night.
You
I know he
did.
comes up again, that little bastard. He actually did a talk on smart TVs, and I just watched it last night, and he says, yeah. In Russia, smart TVs watch you. It's like, yeah, this shit is watching you. Like your TVs are watching you.
Yeah.
And like, for example, like this kind of thing. Like what are we facing
Okay.
as the not deeply informed, non-Edward Snowden type people?
I see.
What are we facing?
Maybe we can discuss about the mobile phone security in the first.
Sure, let's do that.
Because everybody uses phone, right?
Yeah.
And,
the penetration is very deep there.
Yeah, Before I dive into those mobile security ecosystem, maybe I like to draw some, the summaries about those philosophical ideas. Yeah,
Dude,
for the
you
different sides.
Yeah.
And for example, like what happened in Hong Kong since last year, and there was a protest, and there was a police, and there was a cyber attack. There's a bunch of shit been happening, and people are making the arguments about, okay, is those pro Beijing is good, or the pro UK is good, or whatever. But I don't give a shit about politics. But I really want to join here is like even inside of the technical worlds, like the mobile security, we're still facing this kind of the arguments and on the philosophical level. For example, like security, privacy, and freedom. How do you measure them? In what kind of priority you try to measure them is very crucial. And if you're trying to get the freedom first, okay, I'm a free software people. Of course, I love free software. I burn my fucking money on free software. Yeah, but if just the individuals come in front of me to ask Shawn, can you give me some advice to buy the new phone? I only will tell him, yeah, if he's not technical people, he's just the ordinary people. Just buy iPhone.
Interesting. Why do you say that, Shawn?
Yeah, because the
Is it a matter of pick your poison?
sort of.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for my second cigar.
Okay, sure. Yeah, it's like freedom. You don't have any freedom if you're using iPhone. Fuck Apple. Yeah. Fuck Steve Jobs. Yeah, but they develop some kind of the good technique on the security mitigations, and then to follow up the cutting edge offensive technology, and to against those weaponized exploiting. Okay, not very well, but not very bad. But it's very good option for the ordinary people. But just to remember that the first, you do lose your freedom because you don't have the source code. Yeah, you're not able to access all of the source code, and those you have to trust those signing keys from Apple, like app stores. Yeah, that's the things you have to compromise. Yeah, just keep that in mind. But the freedom also means to security. It means the transparency, which means it can give you some higher probability to prevent the backdoor implants. But how do you know this is like the iPhone? You're not able to access the all source code, but how do you say, okay, I will trust it? Yeah, because this is very unique. Because there's a bunch of the security researchers and to raise the open source implementation of iPhone, and they reversing the binaries. They do the binary audits for some reasons, like to finding the vulnerability and try to exploit it. Yeah. For this, the existence of this community exists. I would say iPhone is relatively secure to ordinary people. Yeah.
Right.
iPhone is like iPhone is like a Singapore. It's a closed system, but they're doing it well, right?
Yeah.
And then we could say, okay, from what about the open source side, like the Android? Android is very diverse ecosystem. It's
Sharded, bro. Very
yeah,
sharded.
yeah, exactly.
And
Very
buggy
sharded.
as fuck.
Yeah,
Buggy as
yeah,
fuck. Have you
right,
seen the
exactly.
Have you seen the source code for that shit?
Yeah, of course.
damn it.
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
damn it! It's surprising the thing
you,
even compiles.
Come on, man. You don't need a backdoor. You just need a bunch of buggy doors. It already exists out there. But what would I say about Android? I would say if you're an Android user, I will only suggest you to buy the phone from Google, the Pixel.
Pixel.
Yeah, the Pixel is the only Android phone which has the modern security mitigations that we have today.
Right.
And okay, the Pixel, yeah, I don't know. Maybe Pixel is like Germany. Yeah, they're doing it well. They can cover the general public's the requirements and sort of the shit like that. Yeah, but Lineage OS.
Oh, Lineage OS.
Lineage
Yeah,
OS.
that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, Lineage OS
What do you think of that?
is like United States. Yeah,
What do you mean by that?
you can do whatever fuck you want, while you are maybe fucking with other people, other users. If this packages, this software packages maintainer, they have the highly skills about security. Okay, you are lucky. But just like rolling the dice,
Right.
rolling the fucking dice. But maybe for the next few packages, those maintainers don't give a shit about it.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they were even doing their backporting code while they smoking the weed. I don't know. Yeah, that's the way it is. That's the United States. Yeah, but for the other vendors, like commercial vendors, the stock room, I would say there's either being backdoor or it's a full of vulnerability and buggy door. There's no way out.
Yeah.
But I like to highlight those one of the approach which is my favorite, Griffin OS.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the Snowden one, isn't it?
Yeah,
Snowden.
yeah.
Snowden.
Yeah, Snowden have been using it. Yeah, that's a very good one. And
So is it Snowden? Who else is behind that? Do you know?
Yeah, I know. This guy's my friend. Yes.
You don't have to say his name if you don't want.
Yeah. I don't like to say his name, but his ID is String Cat. Yeah.
Screen Cat.
String. Yeah.
String.
STR. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. This guy is awesome. He's been doing a bunch of stuff based on the kernel level in the first place, because I was porting the PEX just securities, some of the PEX features to Android years ago, maybe back in the 2014. And when I made my work public back in May 2015, and this guy, the string cat, said, "Okay, Shawn, I just did the same, but I haven't released my source code, but I've been doing." That's awesome, because he's doing the bunch of stuff other than the kernel itself, because I only focused on the kernel back then.
Yeah.
So the Griffin OS is good. They have the kernel security, which is pretty much the same level with Google, maybe better than the Pixel phones. Than the Pixel stock room, because they tweak some sort of the parameters out there, for example, to do the fully code coverage of the code integrity check or sort of that stuff. So that's why it make it more secure on the Android kernel. And beside that, on the user space, Griffin OS does a bunch of things like the verify boot And then because on Android on our phone we don't have the TPM chip, right? But that means we are not able to do the measurements then. But we also do the measurement based on the signature verification during the whole boot process. And yeah, that's Graphene OS. I would say Graphene OS is more like Switzerland.
Switzerland. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
But you would need some technical skills to be able to. Some basic technical skills to be able to.
Very basic technical skills. Yeah.
Just to be able to like flash your
right
your supported phone.
Right. Exactly.
What's the hardware support like for Graphene OS?
Pixel phone.
Oh right.
Yeah, Pixel phone. Of
course.
course.
So they went straight for Pixel phone.
Yeah.
Does it only support Pixel phone? Or the Pixel?
If I remember correctly, they support a few models of Samsung.
Yeah. It's not a bad idea. Might look at. I got so pissed off with these smartphones. I went and I bought the what's it? The Nokia. Fuck, what was it? The new brand, the Nokia Iron or Nokia Tough, some shit like that. I forgot what it was.
Okay.
But it was like those tank versions, right? Remember the stuff that would like, battery lifetime of like, like fucking a week, 2 weeks kind of thing?
Yeah.
I got so pissed off with these smartphones. Samsung pushed an update which bricked my phone. And I was, fuck you, bro. Fuck you.
Yeah. Come on.
And I thought, okay, well,
Big
that's
Corps, they have their QA engineer.
Bro.
That...
I don't know what they're doing there, man. I don't know what they're doing, but yeah. Anyway, okay, so that's from a security perspective. So, a mate of mine, Gareth, says, pick your poison. Basically, is like, if you want to hide from the U.S. government, then choose Xiaomi, which is China's intelligence while you're in the US.
That's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
That's bullshit. Yeah.
Well, I think he was joking at the time. And then if you were in China or like Hong Kong and you want to avoid like Chinese intelligence, then you choose like iPhone or Pixel or something. but I don't know. There might be some wisdom in those ways. But the thing is like, I don't know. I think Big Brother on the eastern side sounds a lot more nefarious.
Yeah,
but why do you say it's bullshit?
Yeah, because that's very simple logic. It's like if you are just assume the Xiaomi is being backdoored by the Chinese intelligence, right? But if you just make that assumption, which means the Chinese agencies will prevent the U.S. intelligence to break into it, to take your data, take all over the data.
Mm-hmm.
But that kind of assumption will it work?
Good point.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Any device is fair game, really. Any device is fair game for cracking.
Yep.
Or we can just do. As Leif, remember Leif? You met Leif.
Yeah, Leif. Yeah, firmware guy.
Yeah.
I like him.
UEFI dude. Yeah, he's no longer working for what was it?
Lenaro.
He's no longer working for them, eh?
Yeah.
He's changed his company now.
Yes.
And he was like, well, it's all fucked. It's all fucked. I just make sure that anything I type and put on there is just not can be readable by the world. I make that assumption.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, that's as far as he went.
He do what he can.
Yeah.
I can totally understand.
Yeah. Well, okay. So from the perspective of mobile phones, Big Brother. Now, your attempt at you're the founder of Hardened Linux. Mm-hmm. Your attempt here was to sort of like create a a solution which basically secures your own setup, secures yourself from these threat actors. And whenever you design software, do you always have the highest level of threat actor in your mind when you design code or you write code? Are you always like are you assuming that you're going to be like Big Brother to the max kind of thing? You want to avoid that situation.
Exactly. We have to learn. Yeah. Actually, from the defensive side, you have to know where are these attacks come from, what kind of the technique they've been used, or you need to figure out what kind of the weaponized exploit, being the massive exploitation or on the very on a just target on a very specific target. Yeah, because once you have to figure out them all, then you know how to defend it. Yeah, actually, Hardened Linux is like the comprehensive solution. Then we provide the checklist. Then we provide those best practice, and but we don't ship the ending product. Yeah, but actually, a bunch of people are using it. For example, like the Hardened audit, which combine the stick. It's one of the technical deployments standard from the U.S. government. Then one of the CIS, the Center for Internet Security, which the most popular security baseline for the Linux server, GNU Linux server. Yeah, did I say Linux server? Shit. Yeah, I hope this video Storman didn't watch it. Yeah, yeah. Never mind. Yeah, just the CIS the very popular on the AWS. So we just combine them all into the one open source project, and we just release it for free. And yeah, we made some like the AWS the images.
You did you?
Yeah, we did. But in the end, I know it's most people, those people who are really concerned their security and privacy, they don't trust people that much. So I did that. I had to assume that they don't trust the Hardened Linux, they don't trust my signing key. So we just made the all documentation open. Say, okay, guys, I know, you guys don't trust me, don't trust my fucking signing key. So build your fucking image by yourself.
So basically, you published a how-to.
Yeah. I published the code and the documentation and how to build your own images on the AWS.
Bro, you know that's all very good and well, but like, you know, when a guy named Luigi, his name comes up again, says, because I asked him, I said, I'm doing an Indaba with Shawn. I said, do you have any questions for Shawn? Luigi says yes. He's got one question. He's like, when are you going to make your Linux internal code human readable?
Damn.
And this is Luigi, bro. This is fucking Luigi, bro.
I mean, come on, Store. I think Luigi was trolling you. Yeah.
Oh, I know he was. Yeah. Oh, I know he was.
Because he asked the wrong person.
I know.
The first, the next codes, actually is not written by me, and the secondly, for now, I just put all my trust into the Pax and Just Security, and those guys are fucking awesome. Those guys they developed those security defensive mitigation ahead of industry for decades.
Right.
Yeah, they even influenced the Microsoft Windows.
Yeah.
They influenced the OpenBSD. They also influenced the iPhone, the OS X.
Right.
Yeah. So because I know these guys are skills. They are highly skilled about this shit. Yeah, so I don't trust my own code. I even don't trust that much about those backporting work I've done from the upstream of the Linux kernel. But I put my more trust on them. Yeah, if there's the snippet of code or security mitigation, which reviewed by the Pax team or the spender themselves, yeah, I would say, okay, that'd be the highly qualities which is trustworthy.
Right.
Yeah, because this area is a fucking mess. Yeah, this area is fucking mess. Yeah, especially after the Linux Foundation, they started this KSPP, the kernel security, self-protection, and
Can you go into that, Shawn? Can you go into that? Because I don't know too much about that. Maybe you can sort of elaborate on what's this latest thing that... So Linux, the Linux Foundation is doing something. What is it?
Actually, they didn't do anything on the technical stuff except the marketing PR.
Okay.
But a couple of years ago, like back into the middle of 2015, they started a project. It's called they started an organization. It's called a CII. It's Core Infrastructure Initiative. But this fucking organization, they just absorb the money from the big corps like Google, Red Hat, Huawei, Alibaba. I'm not sure. Yeah, there are a bunch of the big corps vendors are in game. Those vendors, they are only care about their name, their reputation. They want marketing PR by the Linux Foundation. But this project, well, CII started the project called the KSPP. It's a Linux kernel self-protection project. But the only things they've been focused on is copy and paste from GR security without deeper understanding the code itself. And then they reconstruct the code structure for the Linux kernel to actually bring more like the burden for the GR security,
right,
which could fit in more the new kernel. That's the first thing. The secondly, they introduce more bugs, and even some bugs are exploitable, which is very happy to the big brothers.
Do you think it's intentionally done? No.
No, I don't.
Just,
I don't think this they intentionally do this. But what's done is done. It's out there. It's open source. It's all being recorded in the Git, which is blockchain, I would say.
Well, kind of Merkle tree, kind of, yeah. Kind of.
Yeah, but actually, though, what really made me pissed is not the KSPP. Is what they're doing is really drag down of the GR security, and they slow them down, and for the new feature developments, and that's why Spender he decided to close this public downloads of the GR security patch. That's very, very damage to the free software community, to those people who are really concerned with their security and privacy.
So GR security no longer has public downloads.
Yeah.
Do they only give access to certain individuals?
No, they don't do the business with the individual. They only do the business with the commercial vendors now. Yeah, but it's also GPL. Once you pay, you get the source code.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but probably I can talk about this, and hope this is okay, Brett. And it's like
wait a second. By the way, Shawn, this stuff is not edited. Hey, it's like the only thing I do is I just do camera angles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's like be careful about compromising stuff. You know what I mean? Like you don't say something that you feel sort of uncomfortable with, right?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's
but if
all
you
right.
feel cool with it, then
that's all right.
Speak about it.
I think I can talk about it.
Go for it.
I think GR security will be okay with that. And a lot of the open source community guys, and they've been judged the why have been GR security done, and to close the public download, they complain. But I'm a free software guy.
Right.
I burn more than 50% of my fucking money on the free software projects. I made a lot of donation. I hired a bunch of the open source maintainers. I burn my fucking money. Yeah, I really love free software. This is my fucking I'm a bit of fucking religious.
Dude, it's your legacy, bro.
On this side, yeah. So, that's. First, I'm a free software guy. The second, I'm a security consultant. Yeah, I have to to take the responsibility for my customers, and thirdly, I'm a fucking anarchy. I need to protect my fucking self, so I need just security. But fortunately, the just security, they still share the patches for free with some old school hackers and some the human rights organizations.
Right.
Yeah, because from my perspective, come on, Spender, he's a fucking one of the best old school hackers I've ever met. Yeah, this guy don't give a shit about money. From this part, Spender, from my perspective, Spender is pretty much like myself. He don't give a shit about money. Yeah, but what he really concerned is about the fact, about the truth.
Right.
Yeah, that's the reason. He said, okay, I've been working for free from my night job time on the just security project for like 17 years, but we get what? A bunch of judgments without deeper thinking.
So Dunning-Kruger.
Yep.
You get a bunch of idiots who think they know what they're talking about, but they really know fuck all.
Right, exactly.
And as a result, they just introduce noise into the system. And then people who actually know what they're doing don't have time for fucking noise.
Mm-hmm. I see.
Is that would you say?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep going. Tell me more about this dude Spender.
Spender. Okay, this guy is the PAX just security. They actually in the first place back in 1999. There was two parts, the PAX and just security. The PAX taking care of the security mitigation, and just security introduced more. And based on the PAX, what PAX did, on that layer, and in past 2 decades, the just security is head of industry for decades, for a couple of years. Then I write the list of those features have been down in past 20 years. There are a lot of them, yeah. And the Linux kernel they copy from it, and the Windows and the OS X or even OpenBSD they does it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah. So let's back to the Linux Foundation. Now, once the CII started this project, and to slow down,
dude, just you hang there. Yep. I'm just gonna adjust your microphone to that position.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
We go.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Thanks.
Gotta make sure that you're properly recorded there, man.
Cool.
I'm making a concerted effort to improve the technical setup.
Mm-hmm.
Since the last Indaba, I screwed up on the audio and and I can tell you that, bro, there's like so many things, so many subtle details you got to get right. Yeah. And this is one of the things I'm going to be focusing on getting anal about.
That's cool. Self-improving.
Yeah, I know, definitely.
It's cool, man.
After every Indaba, I want to at least improve one minor point after the next. And then eventually, maybe after about 2050 or something, I would say that I might have reached a competent level of production. Hopefully.
You did.
Okay, keep going, bro. Keep going. Okay, so so you were talking about Spender.
CII. Yeah, when this CII KSPP project slowed down the just security work.
Yeah.
And the Spender decided to close the source and the public downloads, and then just a few years from then, the CII is fucking dead. They just absorb the money from those big corps, but they cannot reproduce anything other than copy and paste.
Shit.
It's dead. It's fucking dead now. And yeah, the more funny part is the Spender gave public the presentation a couple of days ago, and yeah, he talked more about it. Yeah, from all of these histories, and yeah, so.
And this presentation, is it online?
It's online. Yeah, you can search on the on the YouTube.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that, and maybe I'll put that link in the description too.
Yeah, sure.
People are wanting a better description.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, especially for this part. Yeah, so, because the Linux kernel is very crucial to everybody.
Right.
Yeah, because your server in the cloud, right, or this phone, or like the smart TV, which been fucked by Luigi or fucked by the Russia government. Yeah, they are all running fucking Linux.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why Linux security matters.
Right. So Hardened Linux, how did Hardened Linux come about, Shawn? How did you sort of like look at this environment, and think, well, screw this, I'm going to create Hardened Linux? What's the history of Hardened Linux?
Interesting. Almost 10 years ago, before 2010, I was a script kid. Script kiddie, and to playing with a bunch of the penetration tests and fuck off those website and or the easy Windows server
defacing.
Just don't mention it. Yeah, and then a long time ago, and then I decided to not to do insecurity because I thought it's boring.
Thought it was boring.
Yeah, it was boring. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As playing the role of the script kiddie. It's fucking boring.
It is.
Yeah.
Download shit, Metasploit.
Right, exactly.
Was Metasploit going back then? No. 10 years ago, Metasploit?
No. Yeah, what was I? Back in the 2005, Metasploit
wasn't
exist.
Yeah.
But until the 2010, there was a very special time. To me, I spent like 35 days to read through the old rock papers back then, and then I was inspired. I said, shit, I really need to do something. I need to do something for the free software world. But what the fuck of this things should be done? I'm gonna do. I've been thinking a lot about this, and then first I said, okay, I need to figure out those offensive technology and how they work, how they influence the people, influence my own personal information security, and then I need to protect myself. And then I went to work for a Linux vendor, the GNU Linux vendor. SUSE.
You work for SUSE, yeah.
Linux, and I work as the security QA, and then I was doing the maintainer of the OpenSSL and GNU TOS for the both the SUSE enterprise distribution and the OpenSUSE, which is the open source the community version. Back then, and then I learned a lot. I say, okay, so the crypto only work on the system which is not being compromised, right? For example, it's like if you're using a backdoor implanted cell phone, and there's a just imagine that there's a the kernel rootkits. Or the very special hijacking engines which can parse the diverse policies for the different apps inside your iPhone's iPhone or the Android framework. And it doesn't matter you use Signal, WhatsApp, or Telegram. Yeah, even you're using the Signal, your session key is being hijacked. It's no longer safe. So the cryptography only works on the system which is not compromised. So that's what I learned. Because I when I worked for SUSE, I also did a bunch of the security audit for the customers, and I also developed and customized my own Linux rootkits, and I figured out how those shit works. And Then I went to another job, and for a couple of months I worked as a freelancer in China and Malaysia. And then I got the offer from Red Hat, and I worked for Red Hat as the security consultant, and to solve those security issues from reported by the customer. And those are all those 5 years of experience of those system security and the crypto, and just got me into the more paradoxical and the more complicated context. Is like I need a comprehensive solution which can combine all of those security, the system security and the crypto, and I combine them into the one feasible solution. Actually, if this solution doesn't work for me, it won't work for anyone else. I need to figure them out, and I spent that's basically why I decided to start this name Hardened Linux. But because before that, this whole hacking journey was started on, but I didn't put the Hardened Linux logo or on the public on the website. But that's the initial stage of the Hardened Linux. As you can see on the Hardened Linux, the repository, we cover a bunch of stuff like those core infrastructures. From my perspective, it's kernel, compiler, and firmware. And then we need the crypto, and then we need the security operational, like security deployment or sort of stuff. And then we also need is a whole system. It's a whole ecosystem, the free software ecosystem. For example, like what Free Software Foundation Europe has been doing, or like the NLNet has been doing. I really love NLNet.
NLNet's amazing.
I support them financially every year.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. I love them. Just
didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, you didn't.
Oh,
you never told me, bro. You never told me, bro.
Oh, didn't I?
No, you didn't.
Oh,
no.
damn.
I would have remembered that.
Cool. Yeah.
Ah, interesting.
So the Hardened Linux is so we develop a bunch of the project. For example, like those are projects called the PEX and Androids, like to backport the PEX onto the Android kernel to testify it. When I was doing it during 2014 to 2015, I traced those weaponized exploit which being utilized by the cyber criminals, maybe some agency, I'm not sure, and I traced those binaries samples and to extract the exploit, and then to figure out what kind of exploit they've been used, and then I try to backport the PUX features into it to against those massive exploitation, and then I draw line of those reports into 5 very popular the vulnerabilities. Then I reported to Google, and then maybe that's the one little push to Google to spend more security shit on their Pixel phone, and but until 2016, I pretty much left the kernel security area, and then I turned myself into another adventure, which is open source firmware, because I really want to integrate the open source frameworks into my solution, and then I do my homework. Sorry, Lev. UEFI is not my option, and
did you hear that, Lev?
Yeah. So.
You're more into, was it core boot, wasn't it?
Core boot.
Core boot is your cup of tea.
Yes.
Tell me why you prefer core boot versus Lev's
UEFI.
baby.
Okay.
Get Leif, listen in, buddy.
Okay, yeah. All right. I would say like this. Yeah, because for this selection parts, there's something I can review, but all I can say is this: it's when you dig deeper, yeah, into this cyber game on the firmware level, you will see the first, the UEFI, they have the more attack surface, and the second, the code is full of shit, and the third, this whole the process. I mean, this whole ecosystem, this whole chain is too long. Yeah, for example, like the EDK2 is open source version, but Intel redistributes the another version to the OEM. The OEM customize their own fucking version. Maybe not the one delivered by Intel. Maybe by the third parties.
Right.
Yeah. So this whole share is it's really hard to fix. But I know UEFI has been trying to fix this whole ecosystem issues, but I'm not fond of it because from my perspective, UEFI is more like the vendor interest.
Yeah.
But I do care more about the public interest. Yeah, that's the reasons why I choose the core boot. For example, like those on x86, right? There this technology is called the SMM, the system management mode, which is more privileged than the kernel mode. Yeah, actually, yeah. If you have this analogy from the one of the greatest old school female hackers from Poland, the Joanna Rukowska, he made this analog like the the ring 3 is application, the ring 0 is kernel, ring -1 is virtualization. The ring -2 is firmware, which is the UEFI and SMM. But which means the SMM has the more privilege than the kernel itself. But if this kind of shit has more attack surface than kernel, what would the big brother do? If I were a big brother, I really don't want to implant the rootkits or the backdoors into the chip on the hardware, but I would do it on the firmware.
Right.
And if yeah, and that's why I say if you're dig deeper, you might find something very very interesting, and which is the happens maybe for decades. It's a secretive war, has been goes on for decades, but the general public just doesn't know. That's it.
Then it's your job to open that up, Shawn. It's your job to open up this secretive war that's sort of going on. Who are the players in this particular war that you're talking about?
Mostly agencies. Yeah, mostly agencies.
Three-letter agencies.
Yeah, three-letter agencies.
Right.
But till recent year, there are more than agencies. Even some, the funded cyber criminal, organized crime. Yeah, they've been getting involved with. Yeah, so it's inevitable. Yeah, those technology has to be shifted out to the lower level from the state actors. Yeah, so
you mean outsourced to so state level will outsource it to. What do you mean by shift out?
Yeah, shift out is I mean the two things. It's like the agencies they've been playing this game for a very long time, but it doesn't mean the other parties doesn't want it, right? Once they have the chance, or once the price goes down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is game changing. Yeah, for example, like there's a one really, really funny story. It's just been disclosed this year, but actually it happened since last year. It's like those they're the buyers. Yeah, Luigi must know that shit. Yeah,
God damn it.
yeah, damn it. Yeah, those zero day buyers, and they just said, oh, we stopped to buying the ending 0 days about the zero click, the remote execution or remote exploitation on the cell phone. What does that mean?
They've secured firmware level.
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
what does it mean?
No, they stopped buying this shit, which means they have the bunch of shit about it.
Right.
Yeah, they are fully loaded. They just cut down like 50% of the price in the 0 day market since last year. But from my perspective is what would possibly influence to the general public, to the individual like me? That's the question I've been asking a lot by myself. Yeah, I do a lot of recon. I learn agencies method. I learn from the underground's method. Yeah, but I really don't want to talk about those offensive sources. But I do. What I can do is I share my knowledge to the open source community. For example, like the first wave of the audit for the cold boots back in 2017, and because back then the cold boot they didn't utilize those security features which been provided by the chipset, but it was bad, and then I write this the proof of concept. I show them. I write this proof of concept based on another open source framework which is chipsec, and I show it to them. And firstly, some corporate guy said, "Oh, Shawn, what do you want? Why are you doing this?" And then they say, "Okay, it's showing the proof concept. It's maybe does sound like smashing someone's face or something." I said, "No,
insult, you mean?"
Yeah, insult or something. Yeah, but I said, "No, I'm a nice guy. Yeah, I'm a nice guy to free software community. But I think I have this obligation to tell you this is the environment I've been using because I think it's more secure based on cold boot." And then I sent one of my guys from the Hardened Linux maintainer. I sent him to wrap up the code and then to upstream it, and because I'm not because first I'm not a good coder, and the second I'm not good developer. The second is I really don't want to deal with upstream stuff.
Oh,
they
I know what you
have
mean.
their own politics.
Oh,
Yeah. So
I know.
yeah. So
You gotta, yeah. I know what you mean. So rather sort of outsource that onto somebody.
right, exactly. Yeah. That's the first wave, and it was good. And during the years before that, there was something also interesting. It's called the Intel Management Engine. Maybe nowadays the people call it the Intel Converged Security Management Engine, CSME, but I just call it Intel ME. And it's like, the beer is good.
Yeah, the beer is good, but you still got your second one to go, and I'm ready to move on to my third one. So
Cool, just keep moving, man. Yeah.
no, I think I'm going to slow down. I'll wait for you to do some damage to your second one before I enter toasted land. But I'm going to keep on with the cigars.
Yeah, me too.
Cheers, bro. Here's another cigar.
Yeah, thanks. Maybe two.
Maybe two, maybe three. There's no. This is more like a civilized man cave, isn't it?
Yeah. We are civilized because we're living in Hong Kong.
Oh, absolutely, of course. Absolutely, Shawn.
Yeah, the ME. Yeah, so the whole operations and research process of the trying to eliminate the ME, I and some of my friends, we call this operation is the hunting the shadow.
Shawn, why do you call it hunting the shadow?
Yeah, because the every x86 computer, like your laptop,
Yep.
yeah, shipped with ME, but
Yeah.
the user doesn't know it. Even the most of the technical people, they don't know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, for our audience who might not know what ME is, or this Intel ME is management engine, could you give us the high level summary of what this ME is?
The ME actually is an independent computer running inside of your chipset.
What
Yeah.
does it do?
It do a lot of things like the thermal, the management,
Yeah.
and some the crypto stuff, and yeah, maybe other stuff. Yeah, they do a lot of stuff, but only I focus on the crypto shit they've been doing, especially after the 2015 with the SGX.
Yeah.
When the yeah, we can talk about it later. Yeah.
No, we can
Yeah,
go
yeah.
into all of this.
Yeah. So so ME actually you can see as a tiny computer running inside your laptop or your desktop or your server. They have the different implementation. On the laptop or the desktop, they call it Intel ME, but on the server, they call it SPS. SPS actually pretty much the framework is pretty much the same as ME, but they shipped less the code module. That's it.
They ship what? Sorry.
They shipped the less code module.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And what is it? What is exactly? Okay. So on the difference between the laptop versus a server environment,
Mm-hmm.
is the server environment more secure?
No.
What's the
No. They said they've been doing more like the system work for like the anti-theft, the the management when you lost your laptop, or they can send out those information to some servers to notify your laptop it's
Compromised.
working, compromised,
Right.
or on the server side you can do the the management. It's pretty much like the BMC, but it's pretty much like BMC, but it ships more of the code module than the BMC itself. Yeah, okay, BMC is such a mess, but ME does it as well. But fortunately, the laptop and the desktop doesn't have this BMC. It's a BMC only on the server. It's very very much required by the data center customers.
All right. And what is it? The work that you're doing around this?
Because this is the black box is not open source, and to the free software community it's a fucking threat because the ME is running as the peripheral.
What?
Peripheral. Yeah, it's like the out of box. It's a peripheral devices.
Oh.
Yeah. It can launch the DMA attack from your own laptop. So this is a very big threat back then. So then the free software community, the open source, maybe the Libre framework community, we try to eliminate it, but we failed because when we try to remove all of the ME stuff from the firmware, right? And but the computer only can last for 30 minutes. Then it will reboot automatically. In past 4 years. Then the whole free software community, we just stopped looking at. Some people might have the other option to using the older computer, which the ME can be eliminated completely. yeah, maybe before the 2010, you have the computer. You can remove the all ME out of it.
Oh, I see.
But
So basically, ME is executing code that you're unable to audit. You're unable to see how this code is executing.
exactly.
In other words, you don't know what the hell this code is doing.
Right. Exactly.
Are there not ways to go into this and extract the code from there?
Mhm.
Or do you have to do like a hardware level?
Yeah, you can have their code because their code is basically is reside in the SPI flash.
Okay.
Yeah. Once the computer powered up, and the ME will just read those the firmware and from the SPI flash into their own memory. And yeah, actually it's the firmware. But actually a lot of people just afraid of these things in the first place, but we just didn't know how it works and what kind of a threat we've been facing with until 2014. There was a the great paper. It's called the Dagger.
Dagger, Dagger.
Yes, the Dagger. Yeah, from the one of the PhD guys in Germany, and he released this paper. He just disclosed the everything, every possible ways that we can utilize the ME to exploit your host machine, your host system.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and until then, I've been shocked. And but still, we didn't have the good solution to how to eliminate it. Yeah, until September 2006, and one of the guys, if I remember correctly, is maybe Tremio done this.
Who?
Maybe wrong. Tremio. Yeah, one of the open source, the firmware guy. He's been working for a financial institution,
Right.
In New York, and yeah, if I remember correctly, maybe yeah, he's the first one. He's the first one who sent out this patch to only remove those code module this approach, which you can minimize the code module of the ME, maybe only just keep like a 2 or 3 code module out there, and this funding is the milestone to Hardened Linux, and I decided to move in to integrate the core boots with the neutralized ME into our solution.
Okay.
Yeah.
So since then, you've been working on creating this hybrid of core boot, minimized attack surface of ME,
Yep.
and hardened Linux now.
Yeah.
And has it come to completion now?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Until the September 2016. So
16. Okay.
2016, and we, we just upgraded all of our node have been running, and we notify some of our friends, and we can do this, but we didn't publish the documentation of how to do it in a very low cost ways until what I've been met some guys in Moscow. And in
this is the Russian connection, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to go into
that's
that, or is that still a little bit?
I can talk a bit. Yeah, I can talk a bit.
Do it then. Let's hear that. Let's hear that Russian connection story about how you. This is the one where you unified the Russians. This is one basically where you connected the Russians to.
That's just part of it.
Okay.
About the firmware part.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, about the open source part. Yeah, maybe there's a dark side of it, but I really rather not to talk about it publicly. But but this part is okay. Yeah, I went to Moscow. I was there for.
So what was the problem? What was the problem before, and what caused you to go to Moscow?
Because firstly I need to meet some friends, and secondly there was The conference, it was called the Zero Nights. It was a good conference, yeah. Yeah, during the Zero Nights, and there's two guys, and they talk about the Intel ME, and one guy he okay. I'm not sure if I remember his name. Alex Morolov.
Probably. I don't know if it's a good idea to mention Russian names.
Okay.
That's probably a smart idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's not mention any Russian names.
Okay, cool.
Their situation is a lot more.
Right. Okay. Rolf, doesn't matter. Yeah. Okay. I just this guy talking about those potential exploitabilities on the Bulgars. Which is the Bulgar actually the root of trust from the Intel solution. It's like you fuse your own public keys into the chipset, and then you.
What do you mean by you fuse it? You flash it on? What do you mean? What do you mean?
No. The fuse is the 110 fuse.
Okay.
You can only write. You can only flash it at once, and then it cannot be removed.
You're done.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's a e-fuse. Yeah, doing inside of the PCH, and but actually some of the normal servers back then, and they didn't enable boot guards, which means they are not neither writing their public key into it or just disable it. They're this kind of Schrodinger's states of this, the Bulgar. But this giving the attackers the opportunities to write their own keys into the PCH. Once your PCH being fucked up, then your whole server is being fucked up. Then you cannot remove it. You all you can do is you remove the whole fucking server physically. Yeah. So but actually there was other things going on in Moscow. Some guys was trying to buy this kind of the weapon exploit. They want to do the subtle of the tweaking and to making it weaponized and then to easy to use for their customers. And this kind of shit really shocked me. Then when I was in Moscow, the one night I was just calling my guys. Okay, come, just prepare, and we make this the neutralization of the Intel MEs, so documentation publicly. We try to give the core boots, the workshop, a little bit of a push in the Congress. And which actually we did, and the Moscow was in I was in Moscow in November 2016, and then I went to the Germany in Hamburg and in the Congress, and a lot of people, they just bring their own machines and the motherboard and to the Congress, and they try to practice how to neutralize the ME. And after that workshop is pretty much like the neutralized of the ME is like the things that everybody can do it. Yeah. So it's easy. Yeah.
So it's entered the public domain then.
Right.
Well,
exactly.
Common practice basically.
Yeah, common practice. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Then after that, I keep the supports the ME cleaner, this project for a couple of years. And then to let them to can support the diverse version of the Intel ME because they need more devices. Okay, and then maybe they are just maybe they didn't find any public funding. Say okay, yeah, this the few thousand of the Europe. Okay, it's acceptable to me. I can pay for you. And then we just make things down. Back then, that's pretty much the ME. But the more interesting part is like a couple of months after the Congress of the 2016, The two Russia researchers, they reviewed the one of feature, which is a part of the NSA defense program. It's called HAP.
Called what?
HAP. Yeah, it's like the High Assurance Program. What's the what's the HAP get involved with the Intel ME? It's like the NSA, they never trust the Intel ME, so they required the Intel to leave the hidden bits inside the ME, which they can utilize to disable the ME after the hardware internalization was done. Yeah. So yeah, that's a very interesting part. But that shit comes to my mind is if NSA doesn't trust it, why wouldn't I?
even the NSA doesn't trust them. Why would Shawn trust them?
Exactly.
The light is just right there. Yeah. I'm gonna get another beer.
Oh, go ahead.
Beers are flowing, bro.
Oh, thank you.
Already onto.
Oh, the third one. Yeah, I just started my.
I know. But to reduce time away from the camera, I decided to take yours out now. So
yeah.
Okay, so well, the particular incident I was referring to was the time when you went to Russia and you noticed that there was lack of collaboration or communication between the Russians and another party, right? And basically you sort of smoothed out the. Well, you went there and you were like, and these guys were like, yeah, we don't trust anybody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's like, who the fuck are these people? We're not going to trust you guys.
Yeah.
And then you were like, hey, guys,
yeah.
Everybody, let's sit down, let's calm down,
yeah.
Come to the same table.
Right. Yeah,
and let's discuss this.
I mean,
what was this thing? Why did you want them? Why did you want the Russians and this other party to get together and to discuss? What problem were they solving?
Yeah, because actually, from my perspective, as an individual, it doesn't matter if you're Chinese, Russia, you're American, European, or the racist. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
But this devil in your computer is the reality.
Yeah.
We are facing, we are facing the common enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the reason I try to talk to some Russia researchers and then some my friends and then to say, okay, maybe we can provide more like the public the information to help the free software community to get things down, to help a little bit, because some of things happened, but I'm not able to talk about it publicly. Yeah, but I'm really glad some people we share the same vision and to make the whole things down.
All right.
Yeah.
Probably not a good idea to go into it then.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but actually, it was very good travel journey to Russia, because I've been there. My wife with me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. My
Your baby wasn't born then.
Yeah,
right?
my baby was born.
No, okay,
Yeah, that's the reason.
Yeah.
My wife can't,
now you're grounded.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah.
Well, not only from baby wise, but also COVID wise. Like we're all grounded. Damn it.
Exactly. and before that was my first time to Russia. Before I go to Russia, I did some research on the DuckDuckGo and also on the WeChat and the Weibo, Chinese social media, and but it was weird things. It's like the both China and the Western world. I mean the English world. Maybe the negative feedback of Russia were more when I was searched, because I was shocked. I had a bunch of the
the bias, when I landed in Moscow. But just a few days, a lot of things have changed my mind. Especially they have the fucking goddamn food. Yeah. Even the same recipes. Even the same recipes when you have it in Europe or in the North Africa.
It's so different. Dude, like, I loved Russia. Russia was such an amazing place. You go into a restaurant, you get greeted with a shot of vodka, man.
Yeah,
oh, God,
yeah.
bro, these people know how to do this shit. I love it. My wife and I, we went to a restaurant, I think it was in Moscow. And it was quite a fancy restaurant. By Hong Kong prices, dude, it was so cheap. It was so cheap. We sat down, the restaurant was packed out.
Yep.
And some dude, he came up with the waiter, and he said he put the food on our table, and it was like almost like a bread thingy mabob. I don't know what it was. Bread on the side. The whole thing was, and there was like a couple of eggs on there, and he sort of stood there almost like in a French arrogant way, and he sort of mashing up the dude. Oh man, it was so tasty. It was so tasty.
Yeah.
It was. I remember it was actually,
And the food is also so fresh.
dude.
Yeah, I really couldn't forget that.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of the misinformation in internet. In both China and the West, and said a lot of negative things about Moscow. But maybe something is true. But from my perspective,
Well, on the people level, we
Right,
can always talk about the
exactly.
government level, but on the
Yeah,
people
yeah,
level,
yeah.
damn, Russia was fun.
right, exactly.
I loved
exactly.
it.
Yeah, I really like
Beautiful
it.
too.
Exactly.
Also the
Yeah.
girls.
Yeah. Oh yeah, jeez. Yeah. You're gonna regret your fucking marriage, man. you got this commitment.
We got the ring, man. We got the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd go back to Russia. I want to explore more of the Eastern Bloc area. I found Lithuania, Latvia to also be extraordinarily beautiful places. Vilnius, especially. Vilnius. This is like the only time my wife and I were walking arm in arm, and both of us were like perving over the opposite sex as they were walking down the road. It was like there was a hot girl, and I'd be like, "Oh my God, she's beautiful," and like a guy would walk down, and my wife would be like, "Oh my God, he's beautiful." Fantastic. Oh, it was. Yeah.
Oh, that's even.
Yeah, it was totally even. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it was total like open perversion basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that was the sort of the work that you've done with over in Russia,
Yep.
and then what's the status of Hardened Linux now?
For now,
Yeah.
things goes on. Cause
What's it capable of? I mean,
Yeah.
like.
Oh, okay. For now, we have run a couple of the nodes, and on the in the internet, and some guys are running the nodes thing as the Tor relays and
Or exit nodes?
Yeah, or no, maybe not exit node. Maybe it's middle node. Yeah, and I could say the current version of the Hardened Linux, this solution I call it as the Hardened the core. Yeah, Hardened the core. Yeah, because it was analog to the one of the old papers back in the 2007. It's called attacking the core. When people referring about attacking the core, means the offensive people just attack the shit on user space to shift it to the kernel space. Yeah, because the kernel was the core. But actually, for now, the kernel is no longer the core, but kernel security is still crucial because the kernel is still the entry to the lower level. Just keep it in mind. That's very important. Yeah, that's very important. Most of the infosec guys and the researcher or consultant, they just fucking the lost this very common sense. Yeah, and in the beginning.
I just noticed the camera was a little bit.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, no worries.
good.
No, I just noticed that the camera was a little bit off angle there,
Oh.
which can I like. if we're doing editing and then suddenly your face is cut in half, it would be really annoying as well. I just wanted to fix that up right now.
Okay.
But I think it should be fine, though. It should be fine.
I already cover, the one part of my face for this.
Okay, so please continue. You hardening the core. The kernel security is critical because it's an entry point to lower levels.
Right.
And then,
Okay, so it's very crucial. So for now, I would recommend the people, if you can get the just security, you should get it for your kernel. But if you can't, or you're not able to afford the price, then today you might try the other open source solution like the AOKRG as well. Yeah, it's also good. But AOKRG they have the very different goals to the only targets on the post exploitations to prevent those rootkits or sort of stuff. But they hard code some policies to prevent the massive exploitations, and that's the good things that people should notice. But it's a second priority, but if you can have the just security and packs, and then you should do it for your kernel. And so for now, on the firmware side, it's core boots with neutralized ME, which means minimize, and with the verified boots and the core boot, then the measure boots. So you need to utilize some feature of the TPM, and then to make that happen. And for example, like there are some solutions and or options you can have. For example, like the Linux boots. Linux boots is they have the diverse forms that you can use. The first one when it was initial this project, and it was like
what project? Sorry,
the Linux boots.
Yeah.
The Linux boots. The second, the first usage, the use case is like you replace the UEFIs, the DXE modules with the Linux kernel, and you only keep the hardware utilization code out there, and that's it. But they have some problem. We'll figure out some problem. For example, like those relocation of those DXE would be the to damage the whole firmware. But it happens in some machine, but some machine works fine. But that's the use case. But for that case, the good thing is you can control your firmware for the most places after the hardware initialization, right? But they also do the similar things which to the core boots. They do the hardware initialization and the payload. Yeah. But what I want to point out here is running Linux kernel as firmware payloads will make you to able to have some advantage. For example, like you can integrate some security mitigations into the Linux kernel, because Linux is very popular, right? And for example, like probably I told you there last year, maybe to Luigi as well.
But say it again. Say it again.
It's like I integrate the one of the PAX feature. It's called our PAX RAP. It's a CFI, the code flow integrity solution. It's been implemented based on the GCC plugin into the kernel, and it can, when you compile the kernel, then it will introduce those code flow integrities into the kernel.
All right.
But if you're using it into your firmware payload, it will give you some extra benefit. For example, like to prevent the full injection attack. It's a type of the physical attack.
Right.
Yeah. So So actually, it's the open source framework will provide you the multiple options then it's depends on you to make the choice. Yeah, because I already implemented this shit since last year, but I cannot make everything public because for now maybe just the
Why can't you make it public?
less than 1% still in private, not public. Yeah, I just share with some of my close friends that who need to be running the Tor nodes, and why wouldn't I make the whole things public? Because there are two reasons. The first one is the Linux payloads running the Linux kernel, right? The Linux kernel version I choose is the 4.14. Which is but the just security patch for the 4.14 is not public. So that's the reasons I can make it public. Yeah, and
So is it because of the GR security limitations, right? You're respecting what's going on with GR security, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to be a GR security bad actor.
Right, exactly.
I see.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
and yeah, that's the first reason. The second reason is like once we publish this whole shit, it will be some the binaries which shipped by Intel and other vendors as well. So there will be some restrictions about it. Yeah, probably that's why those there are some missing pieces from the public part, but I from my perspective it doesn't it's not a big deal. Yeah, to those who really want to run in your own the good security status server or the workstation. That's the current version, and for this year I like to this is core infrastructure part, right? And on the operation level, we enhance this Hardened the audits, and for now we can support the Debian.
Can you go into what this Hardened audit is, please?
Oh, Hardened audit is auto it's like the security deployment. Yeah, as the for example, once you deploy the new Linux server, you need to do some security measures, right? You need to do those security checks and figure out the how many the unsecure configs that exist out there by default, and the Hardened audit is being implemented under the two security standards. The first is a STIG, STIG. The second is a CIS, which is the most popular the security baseline in AWS. And we implemented those two parts into the one project, which is called the Hardened audit. But there's more we do. It's about autofix. Once you run these tools to figure out to finish those whole audits items, then you can choose to autofix for all of them. What happened?
Yeah, I just noticed that my mic was blinking, which means that my audio wasn't recording. But that's strange.
Oh.
No, I don't know what. I know what happened. As I went to go get my cigar, my chair swiveled around and pressed the mute button.
Oh, okay.
So I'm assuming that I haven't lost any audio.
Okay,
so
let's hope so. Yeah,
I mean, freak. You see what I mean by technical shit, man?
Yeah.
You just your chair swivels and turns off your freaking microphone. All right.
Okay, come on, man. That's human, right? That's human mistake.
Bro. Like, It would be fantastic just to have a smooth Indaba without shit going wrong. It's like, you know. Anyway.
That's all right.
Yeah, I know.
We
it's
made
all right.
mistakes. Yeah.
Well, look, dude. It's a big mistake if the whole microphone was like, you know, on mute for the entire time of the entire 2 hours, which I doubt. I sincerely doubt it. Anyway, let's go. Okay, Harbien. Okay, it's the unification of the Stig. You actually did mention that a little bit earlier. Yeah, continue.
Sorry. Yeah, there's some features. Some main features I like to point out is the first is there's autofix. If you're once you're done your audit, you can figure out the percentage of the items which is the machines you are running with is not compliance with those two security standards, right? But we provide this autofix features. You just type the one command, then you can autofix maybe more than 85% of it.
Right.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the people really love it. And the second one is for now it supports the Debian and the CentOS, and maybe for the near future we will we will finish the documentation of how you can apply things with mandatory access control, for example, like SE Linux on the system you have. And yeah, that's the Hardened audits. That's a part of the Hardened Linux, and another project is called the Hardened QA. It's basically doing the static analysis on the source code and to do the fuzzing, and we customize the one of the popular kernel fuzzer is called C-Scholar. I used to call it Skywalker. Yeah. Anyway.
Did you just say Skywalker?
Skywalker. Yeah.
And this is a fuzzer.
But actually the true name is C-Scholar. Yeah, SYZ, KALLER. And the C-Scholar is a kernel fuzzer, and they do the coverage guide fuzzer to for example, like once you're running your own fuzz process, they just trying to fuzz and to utilize the kcom to get enough the data from the whole code coverage, and then what coverage of your files they really hit inside the code. But we do more. We do the state-based further. We implement it based on the eBPF. For example, like to insert some hook into the subsystems you really want to test hard as a QA engineer, and then we try to just collect the states. Once the execution flows, just hit that block, and then we just just save it, and this basically can save you a lot of time, and then we also do the multiple policies based fuzzers into this solution, into this Hardened QA, and we utilize this one of the features provided by the C-Scholar, and it's called once you launch your fuzz process, there's a multiple virtual machines running on, but we can just adjust the which machines will go through the which policies we want them to go through. But once they finish the target, for example, to hit the specific block, the code blocked inside the kernel, and then we will update the corpus back to the every virtual machines. That's basically the QA engineer. I know some of the the security vendors really like those the features like the Hardened QA, but I don't give a shit about the security vendor. Yeah, because what I really want to do this because I do care about the QA engineering. Yeah, we try to simplify those QA engineering based on the static analysis and fast. Yeah, that's the goal of the Hardened QA. Yeah, and yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, there are other parts goes as well. For example, like we finished the core boot to support the two hardware model of the RISC-V, which is the Hi-Fi 1 and the Hi-Fi Unleash. The Hi-Fi Unleash you can run it on Linux, and yeah, we already finished that. We've done this like maybe probably 2 years ago, and now we are trying to study more about the Open Titan.
Tell me more about Open Titan.
The Open Titan is open source projects initialized by multiple parties. For example, the Zurich University in Switzerland.
Zurich,
and Google, and they try to build the root of trust, and in the open source ways. And for now, we utilize those open source FPGA toolchain to convert this.
So FPGA toolchain.
Yep. FPGA toolchain. Yeah.
So you're looking at soft cores then?
Yeah, soft core. Yeah, they provide the soft core. It's IBEX. It's a RISC-V one. Yeah.
This explains your interest in the RISC-V material. Okay, so you want to move into this direction. So this is where the Titan stuff comes into it.
Yes.
All right. I think you should probably expand on this because it sounds like a whole new domain, a whole new territory that you're looking at. In specific, so you want to move into FPGA stuff?
Yeah, we've been doing.
Why do you want to move into FPGA land, given that it's such a hellhole, given with Zinc processors and.
Well, from my perspective, because I need it. Yeah, because the goal never changed. For example, like the open source implementation of the HSM for store the private key, or the high speed solution for the encryption or decryption,
right.
or at least the signature verification.
Okay.
Yeah, and this kind of stuff. Yeah, that's why I mentioned a bit about the last time we met. And about where we might be able to borrow some results of the Horizon 2020. Yeah, because they've been doing the similar things.
Yeah.
Yeah, about the open source HSM. Yeah. For now, I have the HSM, but it's a very tiny one. It's an open source one. It's a Java car based implementation. It's a Java car. You can use those the old good algorithm like RSA 2048 in the Java car 2.4 spec, maybe 3.0. That'll be okay. Yeah, there are open source implementation, but that's not gonna solve the all problem I've been facing for now. For now, the Hardened core, we just store the most of the crypto parts just into those hard disk, which being the FDE with FDE, the full disk encryption with the locks. But from my perspective, I would like to move those those encryption keys then to the hardware. Yeah, that's the main reasons why I've been getting.
Why do you want to do that?
Hardware. Yeah, because it's secure and they can provide the higher speeds of the signature verification.
Right.
Yeah. But why would I do that? Yeah, I really want to mention a bit about the project, about the crypto protocols based on the lib signal. Actually,
that's a whole that's a whole chapter we can open up in a moment. But maybe now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
This is your work with you've got another project on, which is the whole lib signal. Is this where the Titan thing intercepts with it?
No. The Titan and the HSM, they have the similar. They have similarities, but they are not the same. They
Right.
have the different use case.
Right.
Yeah, but for the crypto part, for example, like the deniability I mentioned about.
Now, let's not assume that our audience knows the conversation that we've had about this. Remember, we were talking about the lib signal and all of these things.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah. Okay. How do I put this to the general public?
yeah, I know. This is what I mean. It's like taming a wild stallion, right? I mean, it's like we got to try to structure this so that
Yeah, I know, but it's hard. It's really
Totally,
hard. Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
But,
Yeah, because you have to assume the people should know how the different human works in the first place.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay,
but
let's assume.
they know it. Let's assume they know it.
Let's just assume they know it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. For example, like probably I can start with those two very crucial the crypto protocols in the beginning. The first is off the record, the OTR.
Yeah.
OTR.
So what is OTR?
Off the record, so which means once you receive the message,
Yep.
then when you read it, after you read it, the message can be burned.
Yep.
Yeah, that's OTR. And
So therefore, you can't be thrown into prison if somebody intercepts your message history,
Right,
because
exactly.
there is no message history.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I really like the OTR v3 because they have this the feature because back then, because OTR v3 maybe was developed like 15 years ago. Yeah, maybe longer, maybe 16, 17 years ago. And back then we don't have the much crypto engineering implementations about the zero knowledge proof. Yeah, back then. But so for now, but how do we just ensure all deniabilities? Or raise the bit of the deniabilities. Then what OTR v3 does is like once the diffie-human, they have the private key for the signature, right? That before the diffie-human, then they sign, but before they send, they have to do the diffie-human first to getting the session key, like the shared secret, the shared secret. And then you use the shared secret to encrypt those real signatures, then to send out to the other party. For example, like Alex sent this one to the Bob, and but once Bob received it, and I mean, if the eavesdropper, the Eve, they try to monitor this communication, all they can monitor is like this whole diffie-human exchange, but they know nothing about your signature. Yeah, that's why they improve in some ways for the deniability back in the OTR v3. But I'm not really happy about the OTR v4 because the Sims don't want to keep this feature because they think they have this deniabilities features based on the ring signatures. Yeah, for example, like the Monaro, does adopt this ring signature as a zero knowledge proof for their solution. But OTR v4 they does this, but they don't use the first diffie-human the shared key, the shared secret to encrypt those signature because they thought, okay, this my signature is already being blending into this ring signature, so I have the deniability. Okay, that might be true, but for me, I'm a crypto anarchy. I think I should just keep raising this bar into the protocols. That's why we turn ourselves into the signal ones. And for example, the signal that everybody knows, the double ratchet, right? And I intend not to but to roll my own cryptos on the double rate scheme because I'm not a good cryptographer and so the other contributor of this project as well. We are not good at those the formal verification, but what we want to introduce is like based on the lib signal protocol. And we introduced a few things. The first is like we introduced this public key protection. Just like before we send out our ring signature, that we have to do the one more diffie-human, and then to use that share key to encrypt it, and then to prevent the little bit of more of this information being leaked to the other party like the Eve. And secondly, we signing this whole shit and by the ring signature. Of course, this ring signature is not based on the traditional DSA, and then which is based on the elliptic curve. We keep raising the bar. We might release the initial version of this source code soon, but this is not project under Hardened Linux. This is a project under the Hardened Vote.
Hardened Vote.
Hardened Vote. Yeah.
VOTE.
No, VAULT.
Vault. Hardened Vote.
Yeah.
Okay.
So which means like the Hardened is okay. We need to build your own bunker. We need to build your own vault. Yeah, and to protect yourself. And we this is the first proof of concept is almost done. Yeah, they might release within weeks. But these guys, they don't want to reveal their name. Those anonymous caller, and that's pretty much.
Why don't they want to reveal their names? These anonymous cowards. Why don't these anonymous cowards want to reveal their names?
These anonymous cowards just afraid of being chased by the big brothers because the deniabilities it's a bit of sensitive. Yeah, in the world we're living with, it doesn't matter if you live in China or Russia or US, and the agencies always they have this skeptical mind. They always want to know about why are you using this high-level security protocol or strong protocol about it. Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah. That's a new project. We're gonna dive into it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna work at the old school crypto anarchies and just shining on the internet. I'm not sure. Maybe on tour. Yeah, maybe make the internet great again. Which means we should just dive into the private network.
Dude, I totally agree with you. This is very much in line with what I'm looking at the moment.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So probably our roles probably switch off. Yeah, I talk about your project.
Oh God, no. Hey, dude, I'm the interviewer here. I'm the interviewer.
Okay, cool.
This is your Indaba.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, where does libsignal fall into this? I'm gonna go get another cigar, and I'm gonna make sure that my swivel chair doesn't turn off the freaking microphone. All right.
Yeah, correct. It's still on. Yeah.
It's yours is definitely on.
Yeah, definitely on. Yeah, not blinking. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Okay. So, now you have been one evening we were talking about some particular work that you were getting into, which was the libsignal stuff.
Yep.
You really liked Moxie Marlinspike.
Yeah.
And
of course.
that dude.
Only for the crypto stuff, but I don't like his the other opinion about his, especially about the federated.
The what?
The federated protocols.
The federated protocols. Why don't
for
you?
For example, like the XMPP. Or
but
Matrix,
I don't know. Isn't that just like it's just a medium of communication, don't you
Right.
think? It's like for him, he doesn't really give a shit like what medium it's over,
Yeah.
because it's all it's at that stage it's already encrypted, right?
And now, actually, it's like what Marx really care is about the centralization means more effective, which I really agree. But this is not the only
More efficient, you mean?
More
for
efficient.
a communication point
Yeah,
of
for
view.
a commission point.
Yeah,
yeah.
well, yeah, in the
Yeah,
current in this
Yeah.
current networking model, yes, it is more efficient.
Right, you said I agree with that, but from my perspective, it's like those protocols like LibSignal, we should have more use cases. For example, like the OMEMO, right? You can have the multiple instances and to talk to each other, and then based on the LibSignal protocols. I mean, you can support you can implement your applications with LibSignal, but in the more use case, not just for the centralization, but for the federated ones like the XMPP.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. What was your question?
Basically, I would like you to sort of expand on this new project that you're talking about with the LibSignal stuff.
Yeah.
Remember, we were sitting.
Mm-hmm.
We went to go.
Yeah, we went
this
to
is
go
where I
to
met your
the
wife.
yeah,
and
yeah. Right, yeah.
And you were discussing the LibSignal project, and what are the goals of this particular project?
For introduce more the LibSignal is being developed by the Moxie.
Yep.
But what we introduce is actually the two parts, the two features. The first one is the ring signatures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we never touch the double register scheme.
Okay.
Yeah, we only modify the
So this
the private
WHS
keys.
scheme, can you go into it? Can you describe what it is and why you don't like it?
No, I like
Oh,
double
okay, you
register.
like it. Okay.
I love it. Yeah,
Okay.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah, the double register scheme. Well, it's
What is it then?
Okay, so you can say the each message you receive or send, or you send the offline message, you will follow those protocols which compliance with double register schemes and to work out. For example, once you're receive like Alice sent a message and to Bob, right? The first thing is they don't send the message to Bob directly. They send it to the server to like the pre-bundle keys, a bunch
Right.
of things on there. But if the Bob is online, they can do the decrypto, they can do the diffhuman, right?
Yeah.
For online. But if they are offline, that's okay, and it's just stored in the server as a pre-bundle key. But pre-key bundle. But once the goes online, they can just extract those bundle and to do those diffhuman offline, and then you can send a new message to Alice. You send a message back, and they kind of the spin around, and the each message they have the very unique keys which can be reversed to ensure your perfect forward secrecies. That's pretty much the double register has been doing. They have the multiple chains for that, like the send chain or receive chain. Yeah, to keep this goes on.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so your work, you don't actually touch this section of the thing.
Yeah. I don't.
and
I
what-
love it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I always encourage people to use Signal.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's the only way we communicate.
Exactly.
Okay. So, but why do you choose not to use it?
What not to use?
You mentioned that. Yeah. Pull it down a bit.
Okay.
Let our audience take a look at your beautiful mug. There we go.
Okay.
Okay. So your particular work at the. What's the name of this LibSignal project that you're working on?
For now,
It doesn't have a name.
It has a name.
name.
One of the anonymous caller says we should name it as the Project Butcher Bay. I said, what the fuck do you mean with that?
Butcher Bay.
Butcher Bay, yeah.
Butcher Bay. Jesus
Butcher
Christ.
Bay. Yeah, yeah. I said, what the fuck with that? I said, Butcher Bay is a fucking prison. Yeah, yeah. It's like the Yeah, have you seen the chronic of the Redick? The Redick was being as a prisoner in the Butcher Bay. Okay, well, are we a prisoner, or are the NSA or the Big Brother a prisoner? What's the fucking point? I just don't get it, man. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but
No. I don't call it Butcher Bay, bro. Don't call it Butcher Bay.
Yeah, for now, I just try to name this project as the Volts 1317.
1317.
1317. Yeah. Why is that? Because
I can understand 1312, but I don't understand 1317.
okay, 1317. Probably you should just go home and to scrape the bits on the scripture, the Bible.
Oh, okay,
and then you will figure out when you read the Proverbs 1, 3, 13, 17.
All right. Yeah. I 1312 is a little bit more nefarious than 1317. Okay. And the whole goal of this 1317 project. What's the prefix to 1317? Something 1317.
The vote.
The vote.
Vote. Yeah. Vote 1317.
Vault 1317.
Yep.
That's kind of like one of those Fallout games, right?
Yep. Yep.
What is that? Where you got the vault from, right? From
right,
a Fallout
yeah,
game.
Exactly. Fallout. I love Fallout.
Such a
Vault
great-
7, Vault 13, Vault
Great
111.
game, bro. Fucking
Yeah,
great
yeah.
game. Post-apocalyptic run around with
Exactly.
fucking
Yeah.
fat boys.
Right.
I love that shit.
Exactly.
Such a great game.
Yeah.
So okay, and the whole goal of this is to give communications to people.
Yep.
Is that right? And it'll be in the form of an application. So similar to like you download Signal, or will it be an app that you can download on your phone, or?
No. I for now I don't have a plan to move this project to the use case for the mobile. I try to use this to protect those distributed management server. And
So
yeah.
excuse me. So this is to allow communications, machine to machine.
Right, exactly. Privacy. What I'm
Right.
trying to protect the privacy is
So-
not for the humans, it's for machines.
So basically, Microsoft introduced this concept of what is this stupid shit is called? What trusted machines, or trusted
Yeah, they're
something,
like the secure core PC.
No.
that sort of
No.
stuff.
It's back in the day, Microsoft called trusted pairing or some shit like that.
Ah.
Total bullshit. Total bullshit.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so now you're actually like, well, okay, our machines need to talk to each other, and
Yep.
Moxie is onto something.
Yep.
Let our machines talk to each other via this secure protocol.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the whole goal of this?
Yep. Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd rather to run this protocol over the Onion networks.
Over what?
Onion networks, the Tor.
Yeah, Onion networks.
Yeah,
Onion
Onion
networks.
Onion
Okay.
networks. Yeah, and
Okay.
the internet as well. Yeah, but which compared to the internet, I would like to the private networks.
Yeah. Shawn, tell our audience some tidbit of information that you gave to me about running or selecting exit nodes on the Tor network.
Okay, I see.
Maybe
I see.
this information could be useful to a number of people out there.
Oh, of course. It's always been useful to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. For example, like, okay, yeah. What would you making the picture in your mind when you hear the term or anarchy? Probably just like the people burning shit, right? The people burning the car on the street. But from my perspective, when I hear this term,
Now, that's the incorrect interpretation of anarchy.
Right, exactly.
The technical term is no hierarchy.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, from my perspective, if you want to protect yourself, the crypto is definitely your friend, and you should keep using those, the best practice, the crypto tools like the Signal, like the Tor browser, like the OTR v3 with the XMPP, but speaking of the Tor, because the Tor have this networks and they have this exit node, which means once you try to visit the website, if this website is inside of the Onion networks, and that'll be fine because what happened in Onion stay in Onion, right? It's being all encrypted. That's be fine. But for example, if you're trying to visit Facebook via the Tor browser, I highly recommended to use those exit nodes from those some countries. For example, like those countries which has more restricts and privacy law, like the Switzerland.
So there's 4 of them, right?
Yeah.
So Switzerland?
No, maybe 5. Switzerland,
5.
Germany, Iceland, Denmark, Finland. Yeah.
So when you set your node your exit nodes up, you select these 5 countries to be an exit node.
Exactly.
And the reason for this is because.
It's because, for example, like if you're running the nodes in Hong Kong or Singapore or US, there will also likely be your traffic likely being to direct to some exit node running by the big brothers.
Right.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's a serious problem.
So basically, they're busy sniffing traffic.
Exactly.
And you can consider yourself compromised at that point.
Yep.
Does Big Brother basically sniff all nodes, like the entry points? Well, not entry points, but like all exit nodes, basically, other than these 5 countries.
I don't think so because
Okay, is essentially what I'm asking is Tor compromised by Big Brother?
For now, I think no.
Okay.
Yeah. I think no. Yeah. Big Brother has been trying to compromise Tor, maybe some protocols, some the exit nodes, maybe even some middle relay. But security means you don't have the 100% guarantees you are fucking secure, but you need to use something, right?
Right.
Relatively secure, which being the practice by the general public.
Right.
The Tor definitely is the one of that list.
Right. Yeah, it's a bit of a problem because Tor is experiencing some funding problems now. I think the United States has stopped.
Yeah, fuck Trump.
Fuck Trump.
Fuck Trump. Yeah.
Yeah, he's put the halt on this open technology fund.
Foundation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Foundation, not fund.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
foundation.
yeah.
Yeah. This is, I think, the OTF is probably one of the biggest funders of Tor technology.
Right. Exactly. Maybe they should just move the foundation to Germany.
That's not a bad idea, hey?
Yeah. Why
That's
not?
not a bad idea.
Why not? Or Switzerland. Those people definitely not work on this kind of organization to be moved there.
Maybe, do you think NLNet and associated Horizon 2020 organizations can sort of take over the Slack or take over the look? Okay, this is from a higher geopolitical perspective. The United States is starting to contract. You got Trump, which is making these very, how can I say, anti-globalist or moves, and currently the world looks to the United States for things like, like the US dollar is now the international
Yeah.
trading, it's an international trading currency, basically.
Right. Exactly.
And if the United States is now saying, well, we don't want to do this anymore, you're going to have the rest of the world, which is going to basically throw their hands up and say, well, fuck off, man. Like,
Yeah.
like if you're not going to play game with us, then we'll look at other solutions. And like Trump is throwing a spanner in many different domains. I wonder to what degree China is becoming. I don't want to open up the whole China book because the last episode was all about China. But I wonder what degree that China is starting to become very, very insecure about its current stance in the matter, just because of Trump. Trump's mindsets of withdrawing the United States from the international platform.
I see.
I don't really have a question.
Yeah.
It's more like an observation that I'm seeing at the moment, and basically from my perspective is like when you start, like my mum likes to rant on about Trump. I try to exclude that guy as much as I can from my life. But as soon as you start going after like the Open Technology Foundation, it's like now you're pissing in my backyard.
Exactly.
Now you are compromising my situation.
Right.
And
I actually, before Trump does that, I didn't give a shit. Yeah, that's the Americans shit, right?
Yeah,
I don't
it's
give
the
a
Yanks. They've got their own problems
Right,
to solve.
exactly,
But
exactly.
it's like now that you're fucking with this,
Right.
it's like, oh shit.
shit. Yeah, that's just my fucking shit you are messing with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for now, I really do. It's like those the privacy project and those free software projects which being funded by the Open Technology Fund. If they can not find the funding like this year or maybe next year, they really should reconsider where they're based. Maybe they should move to Europe. Maybe they should just trying to get some help from the NLNet. Yeah. I think there are a lot of people are willing to help about it.
A lot.
Yeah.
But predominantly in Europe.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, Europe, man. But at the same time, it's like you look at Europe and the European situation. I've got mates.
Yeah.
Our friend, he's moved to Hong Kong. He's like, Europe's done for, man. even our common friend.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, Europe's done for.
I see.
But I think he's talking more about the trade perspective. He he really likes Hong Kong because you can import export free.
Yeah.
But as soon as you're in Europe, damn man, the taxes that are involved on importing exporting is just exorbitant. It's like extortion. So yeah, I don't know. Hey, yeah, you're probably right. Do you have connections in Tor and what? I mean, the Open Technology Foundation. If you do, maybe you can make that suggestion.
Okay.
To move them over to Europe.
Yeah.
But I think the Horizon 2020 money is running out. Is finishing up soon. Hey. I think it was a ridiculous amount of money, wasn't it? For like 4 billion euros.
Okay.
Over a period of like 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
That needed. I forgot the details.
Yeah,
but
I don't know the details.
Yeah.
Because I only focus on those projects which being
which they're funding.
Yeah. Which being related possibly to Hardened Linux.
Yeah.
So
I see.
Yeah,
and how, whether you can possibly integrate them or not.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the situation we are facing for now. If the United States they are not going to funding those
play ball, if they're not going to play ball.
Yeah, they're gonna play the the role of those funding those projects and maybe Europe is a better place and to move in. Yeah, because in Europe of course, Europe have their own issues, and you know the tax issues, and then for now the refugee issues, and then for now
Yeah.
doing the COVID-19,
Yeah.
the economic issues, and then those unemployment rates maybe goes up in some European countries, but after all, Europe is still the very good place
Yeah.
to I mean those laws are very are friendly to the privacy and,
Yeah.
and free software, and that's the reason. For example, like you never see such funding like the WordProof, right? Like the
The what?
The WordProof.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the WordProof, like those blockchain based the projects to help the fact check communities. You never see such funding happen in Asia or in United States, but Euro Commission, they just issue this funding maybe a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, from my perspective, Europe is a fucking paradise for the researchers and for those people who are concerned about the
Yeah.
privacy.
One guy I'd like to get onto this Indaba is a guy named Eric Wishart.
Uh-huh.
He's the founder of AFP.
Mm-hmm.
You remember at the last Revoln conference? I forgot what her name was, but she stood up and she gave a talk about fake news, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do
so
remember.
that
I do
organization, they're founded here. I don't know. No, it must be out here in Asia. It must be because Eric Wishart is the founder. He's also
It's a Hong Kong-based company.
I think so. But I mean, Eric is out here, but he's also the I think he's the chairman of the Foreign Correspondents Club, the FCC, out here in Hong Kong. You can go on YouTube and see it. There's a number of FCC videos where he's busy talking about journalists,
Yep.
keeping journalists safe, and which has become like a bit of a hot topic now, especially since our current Hong Kong situation.
I see. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, okay, so how's the progress of this Vault 1317 project going?
For now, we're still doing final debugging, and then there are a bunch of bugs, and we try to eliminate it, but maybe we will still remain some bugs until the initial version being released, and then but the first version, we might not provide the proof of concept for the real two nodes being communicated, but we only simulate those two nodes inside the one machines being communicated between the Unix socket domain, but we are able to provide the beta release by end of this year, and based on the some federated particles, maybe XMPP,
Right.
and as the plugin to working with, because that's the things that we really need for the project. I need. Yeah, probably other people, they have the other use case as well, but my use case is just to protect the machine's privacy, like the public
Right.
key, and during the communication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So at the end of the year, probably do another Indaba with you.
Maybe, yeah.
Let's see how that goes.
Because but you can see there's a whole landscape of the whatever in the Hardened Linux, maybe in the Hardened modes, and those whole landscape. Because I have this vision.
Yeah. Oh, this is what I wanted to discuss. The next thing,
Yeah.
like what is the long-term vision
Oh, okay.
of
okay.
where do you want this project to go?
Right.
So
right.
let's open up that chapter.
Okay, yeah. For example, like those. Yeah. How do I put this? It's like those a bunch of attackers, right? Those are threats. from state actors, from cyber criminal, maybe from some script kiddies, and yeah, the attackers. It doesn't matter how you choose. They are out there. Yeah, they are out there. They are spinning around and about their shit, and but yeah. Also from the highest threat, of course, is from the unlimited resources of the state actor.
Yeah.
And people in this line of work in infosec industry, people used to call this kind of attack is APT, is advanced persistence threat, right? But actually, what kind of the defensive solution which against the APT? Maybe we should say, okay, advanced defensive attack or advanced defensive program doesn't matter. But actually, it's like those advanced. Actually, for example, we have a billion of the machines and nodes running online today, but for those nodes really being taken concern by the advanced defense technology is only a few of them. Yeah, maybe. For example, like the Hardened Linux, from my perspective, from the community side or from my customer side, those are three type of group of people. They are really like those advanced defense technology. The first, Big Brother, of course. They do offense. They also need the defense, right?
They want to secure their shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The second is underground. Underground, the organized crime. Yeah, they need defense. And the third one is a financial institution. Yeah, but those are three group of people. Those machines operated by those three type of group, and they are minorities. Yeah, today. But my perspective, my vision is to bringing more nodes to similar technology than to the small organization, to the individuals, and then if they care about their privacy and the security, they can build their own fucking bunker.
Yeah.
And that's it. We need a cyber bunker because everything is in cyber now, right? Yeah. The cyber machine, the cyber beer, maybe cyber sex in the future. Yeah. Everything's in cyber. Yeah. So this is a situation we've been facing today, and it's quite a serious and being I mean the individual, they need to make the move. For example, like whether we like Germany, whether we like the Congress, that's an example. I talk a lot. It's Firefunk, right? It's in English. It's free radio. It's Firefunk is the open source project to doing those autonomous Wi-Fi networks in Germany. They can cover the major city of the Germany, and they do the autonomous network. They redirect all of those traffic into some data centers in Iceland, and to protect those the people's privacy. But from my perspective, why does this kind of the projects being emerged out of in Germany? That's the question. Probably every individual should really think about it deeply. Yeah, because this is long-term fight. Between the individual and the big brothers. Yeah, for example, like the Firefunk in Germany, there's a bunch of the volunteers, students, engineer. Yeah, they try. They are happy to help. They are trying to to spend their night job times to contribute something in a way or another to the community. Yeah, I think that's the long-term fight that you can make it sustainable. Yeah, I mean, almost 40 years ago, when the Chaos Computer Club, being initiated. I don't know. Maybe nobody give a shit. Yeah, nobody gave a shit, even in Germany. But those old school hackers, they stick with it. They do the public education for the long term. Yeah, they hold up this whole philosophical ideas. Then they do the education to the public. They try to spread their ideas through the media. Yeah, they've been doing this for almost 40 years. That's why we can say, okay, Germany now good. Yeah, about the privacy, about the how to protect the individuals, the data. Yeah, that way of the action, was good. But the problem is, this is just one case in Germany. There are multiple cases very similar to Firefunk happen in Germany, maybe also in Switzerland. Yeah, probably that's the lessons and we really need to learn about. Yeah, it doesn't matter where you are living in China, you live in Hong Kong, Japan, or United States. You, as an individual, you should stick with it, because this is the fucking, the technological trend you are not able to avoid.
Yeah.
Yeah, big brothers everywhere.
It's true, man. It's true.
Yeah, for example, there's a very interesting, just like what happens in Hong Kong. Okay, I'm not going to talk about the local political correctness, because I'm still living here. I don't want to mess with those landlords, out here. Yeah. Just like when I live in Beijing, I can mess with the local government, but I really don't want to mess with the central government.
Right.
In Beijing, as well as I live in Hong Kong, I really want to mess with those landlords. But what I really want to point out is there are some news really make me laugh. Really, I think it's really fucking hilarious. Yeah, funny. For example, after July the 1st, one of the news reported by the Bloomberg, and then they talk about after the July 1st, when the national security extended laws being performed in Hong Kong, the biggest downloads hits in the Apple's App Store and the Google Play is Signal, right? Oh, right now you care about your privacy, but come on, man. Yeah, do you really think your biggest threat is the fucking CCP in Beijing, organization 2,000 miles away from Hong Kong? You're trying to pretend switching to Signal, but while you're still using Facebook. What the fuck? If you really want to make the internet great again, set up your own onion networks, your onion sites.
Yeah.
A few steps you go through, everybody can do it. Like I said, if you're willing to spend 3 to 6 months and a bit of money, everybody can do it.
Bro, yes, and also no. Like, your 3 to 6 months is, 6 to 9 years for a normal, non-technical person. Do you know what I mean?
No, for me, I just build up the whole things I can finish up within 1 week.
That's sort of, okay, all right, okay, a few days is it?
Yeah, a few days.
Oh, okay, so the 3 to 6 weeks was So what you mean?
Come on, don't underestimate your audience, your Indaba audience.
Yeah, I don't.
They are not fucking morons, man.
Oh, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. But what I mean, look, okay, I'm picturing the average Hong Konger who has no technical background. No, okay, my friend told me to install Signal. Do you see what I mean?
Okay.
And then that person is like, it needs to set up an onion router, an onion node. That's like, yeah, okay, yeah, maybe. By that stage, the technical guys will need to have made this thing like point and click kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And my most recent Indaba was with, oh wait, what's his code name again? Stanley Lee. That's not his real name.
Okay.
But yeah, he was the one that was censored.
Yep.
And he mentioned like he did a test.
Mm-hmm.
He started sending messages to because both of our signal lists have increased massively, right?
Yeah.
And he started sending messages to everybody on Signal. And he noticed that, like, yeah, it would be double ticks, and then people stopped responding, basically. So it's like it's very much a situation where, you know, heat of the moment. Oh, I need to improve my security situation.
Mm-hmm.
But then very quickly it'll default back into the sugar candy, the crack cocaine, the heroin.
Yeah.
Websites like freaking Facebook and like things like, you know, these sorts of things.
Yeah.
And like it needs to be, dude, like for this thing to be taken seriously, people need to start going to prison. People need to start, you know, being whipped off into the mainland.
Mm-hmm.
And then people would be like, oh shit, okay,
Uh-huh.
all right. So Signal's a serious thing.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. It's like educating people on security.
But actually, it's like because I'm an outlander and
You're a what?
I'm an outlander.
Outlander.
Yeah,
Ah,
Outlander,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's to me, I don't want to the mess up with any governments because I had some very bad experience with business with the governments decades ago. Yeah,
you did. You never told me about that.
Yeah, but I really want to talk about it publicly. But
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
You tell me offline then.
Yeah. Since then, I really want to dive into any business with any governments. I don't give a shit about the U.S. or China or Russia or EU. But my point is, if you want to, if you want to do something, you need to do wisely. Yeah. For example, like you should really, everybody should learn something from Germany, from chaos, from Congress.
Yeah.
That's the point. Yeah, because for example, like Hong Kong, this is not my fight. I've been living here for a few years, and I saw, wow, the people just do the protest, and they have the balls. Yeah, they really have the ball to fight and to protest and to against Beijing, but they don't have the ball to against the landlord, which is very more close to them. Okay, that's fine. That's their business, right? That's their decision to make. Yeah. Okay. So, but that's their politics. But from my perspective, is technically, if you really want to prevent the big brothers, do you think the Hong Konger really want to prevent the big brothers and protect their privacy?
Oh, sure.
Sure.
No. Oh, yeah. No.
No. Of course. Yeah. Because every technical person can see that through.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's the problem they have. Yeah, for example, it's like, 1 second. Yeah, maybe I drink a little bit more. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah,
It's fine.
yeah. For example, like I do think there are some the cultural issues, and which is really hard to resolve in the short term. For example, like Hong Kong people, they are fucking rich, right? As we talked about it before.
Yeah.
But the problem to them, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So what kind of issues they are trying to solve? They try to buy something from the market. They
Buy the
try to
solution.
buy the solution.
Yeah.
But there's no such solution
Yeah.
in the market. What would you do? Okay. For
We
now,
need skills.
Yeah, exactly. You need skills. Yeah, for that part, you are either willing to learn something from German,
Oh, I see. Mm-hmm.
or shut the fuck up. That's it. That's the people who have the ball I really respect with. But I really don't see such the properties inside of them.
Maybe not yet, bro. Maybe not yet. I mean, fuck. Could we say that Hong Kong is at the early stages of not only a political wake up, but also a security wake up? Can I say, where at the moment the grounding is not there yet. I mean, it's a long way to go, but
okay.
But now that you know the saying, where there's a will, there's a way, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And maybe this could be it.
Yeah.
This could be the instigating thing which causes a select group of technically minded people who are aware of the extent or the capabilities of this particular big brother threat actor, state level threat actor. We don't need to mention names.
Yeah.
And then from there,
Yeah, but actually, I can talk about this popularity for the TORX and nodes. There's just 3 agencies for the majority nodes in Hong Kong: China, US, and UK, and that's it. So it's like if I were a Hong Konger, I would say I would treat all of those nodes in my threat model as a fucking the same. Because you have no idea if there's one of the parties, maybe not Beijing, they're just selling your fucking data to the other party. Or the vice versa. They have no fucking idea. Because Big Brother, they have the unlimited resources, they have the tens of thousands of the machines running their very specific data center. That's it.
in other words, Hong Kongers, they literally have no idea about the level, the threat actor level, what they're facing.
Mm-hmm.
So then to ameliorate or to improve this situation, what do you recommend that Hong Kongers start going over to CCC, start to get more involved in security, It's like you can see the Hong Kong mindset, and it's almost like sheep. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Naive sheep.
Right, of course.
And
rich sheep.
Rich naive sheep.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you know that there's a problem, but you've spent all your time focusing on financial activities and stuff like that. You've not really been politically awake until this shit has happened.
Yep.
And now when it does happen, it's like you take to the streets, you start, trashing things and there's going to be a kickback from that.
Yeah. Right. I don't know. Even for now, I really do. I'm a bit confused. What is really fighting for independence or democracy, like the U.S. version of democracy, or the something else? I'm not sure. Yeah. Because this is very vague. It's like those are 5 demands, but this very easy to say those slogans, but what are you going to implement it? What are you trying to implement it? If you really want Hong Kong to be an independent country, come on, man. There's not going to be happened. But if you say, okay, I would just pursue some way of their privacy or internet freedom, okay, of course you can bargain with Beijing, right? Yeah, Beijing doesn't give a shit. Beijing only care about your regime, their regime. Yeah. Yeah. So for now, I really don't understand. Yeah, because I'm outlander. I just as an observer to this whole process. Yeah, it goes on.
Yeah, yeah. You follow a similar sort of mentality that I do. Is that, well, I'm assuming that you follow a similar sort of mentality that I do, which is basically, like, as soon as things start getting a bit too wild, then you move with your
Yep.
feet. You get
Yep.
the fuck out of there.
Right.
And one place that you can be pretty sure of is the safe haven of cryptography.
Mhm.
Well implemented and properly a good implementation of communications using cryptography.
Yep.
Maybe that might be the best way to communicate this. Like, for example, saying to Hong Kongers, like, yeah, stick with Signal.
Yep.
Fucking drop all the other shit.
Yeah, signal is just one thing.
It's a good step forward.
Yeah,
It's a good
yeah.
step forward. But I mean, going step further than that which is like, run Tor nodes,
right.
install
More Tor nodes.
more Tor nodes,
Yeah.
get more Tor nodes, and this is where it sort of comes into my project, is which, well, it's not ready yet, but the idea is to, it's not even ready to talk about, but yeah, like having these protocols which
Mhm.
which bring in the cypherpunk, the cypherpunk approach,
Right.
which is like,
That's the point. Yeah.
which is like, okay, guys, like, at no point can you ever trust these third parties. These third parties are security holes.
Yeah.
You can only rely on yourself
Right,
when it
exactly.
comes to this, and the only way forward
Exactly.
is by increasing your understanding in the security field,
Yeah.
and utilizing solutions which allow you to operate in that safe haven. Well, comparatively safer than raw internet access.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Hey, maybe some sort of group or something, some sort of outreach group that needs to be created.
I don't know. Just like it's just like probably we talked about it last year. It's like when the whole this protest shares being goes on in the first place, and I say something like from my perspective, what's the best future for Hong Kong? If those old school hackers like Sebastian
Yeah.
can be respected like they are deserve the respect for,
Yeah.
like they have in Europe,
Yeah.
Hong Kong might have the future. Otherwise,
Oh, I see what you mean.
they're gonna die with it.
Oh, I see what you mean. So essentially, those old school hackers like Sebastian, yourself,
Yep.
and a few other people
Yep.
who have refused to be on the Indaba, if the Hong Kong, if by the way, this is another reason for these Indabas.
I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah.
is to get these to elevate individuals like yourself and Sebastian,
Yep.
so that society can know about you.
Exactly. We need more old school hackers.
Yeah.
If you really want to build up those open society, the civilized one, not the even for the democracy, not for the democratic version
Yeah.
in the Greece.
Oh
For
yeah.
example,
Yeah,
like
but
the-
that's hundreds
yeah.
of
For
years,
example,
man.
like the Greece killed the Socrates.
Dude, the lighter doesn't
Yeah.
work and all my matches are dead. I'm gonna use your cigars.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Cool.
Keep going.
Do we have other lights? Light
Dude,
up here?
I think there's another lighter somewhere, but it's like by the way, we're already like at 3 hours 13 minutes, so we could
Oh,
probably wrap
shit,
this up.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But let
yeah.
me just light this.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, it's like I mean, nobody wants the democracy versions like the old Greece does. For example, to kill the Socrates.
Socrates, yeah.
Socrates, those great philosophers.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to the democracies like wants the Jewish does to kill the Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need a better one. Yeah. Actually, I really want to talk about this publicly, but sorry, guys. Sorry, Indian guys. I really want to. I really want to speak this out. And it's like.
Did you say Indian guys?
Indian, yeah.
What? Okay.
Yeah. For example, like, do you think the Indian version of the democracy will work for Hong Kong?
I'm afraid I don't know enough about this situation. You're gonna have to tell me.
Okay, yeah, probably there's another a bunch of informations out there. Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, from my this is a big topics, but from my perspective, I really don't want to dive into that. If you just ask me what kind of the democracy I want, I would say Switzerland.
The Swiss democracy.
Yes, Swiss democracy.
Wait, the Swiss democracy has these sort of like small little villages kind of thing, essentially groups, or what are they? I forgot what they're called, and essentially they have.
Yeah, those
really they're like 15,000 people, and basically they
Right,
control everything in their little domain, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, that's kind of like taking it back to the Greek
Yeah,
days when there was a
it's
small enough.
It have to be required that every individual being well educated. Yeah, and those are systematically to guarantee that nobody give a shit about the power. So the presidents only run for their government for 1 year. For 1 year, that's it.
Is that so?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the things I really want to pursue. And if you are asked about the other version of the democracy, I will just treat them as the ones which killed Socrates and Jesus. That's it. Yeah,
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Because I'm a neo Calvinist,
Yeah. Right.
but the traditional Calvinist was initially in Geneva.
This is interesting. It's something I should probably do more research into.
Yep.
Be able to communicate more efficiently about. I don't know enough about this.
Yeah, I mean, the individual matters. Individual matters.
Yeah, but now then we start entering the whole ideology of the groupthink versus the individual. I think both you and I we have the stance that the individual is where it's at. Because.
Mm-hmm.
Because the individual is responsible for their actions, and if the individual fucks up, they will take responsibility for their actions.
Right.
But in a group situation, it's like you try to pin the blame on a group. Good luck.
Yep.
You're not going to. It's not possible.
I see.
So as a result, this group becomes this amorphous entity that can pretty much do anything eventually, and before you know it, it's like they've reached some I don't know what they're doing, but it could be very nasty. And how are you going to pin the group? How are you going to pin the blame on a group? You can't.
Yeah.
Because they might enter the group, they might leave the group, etc.
Right.
So, yeah, and I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. But dude, that's a whole different. That's a whole different.
This is fucking 1337 means for democracy.
No, is that so?
Yeah. From my perspective, it is. Everybody should be the fucking leader in some field. That's how democracy works. Otherwise, it's gonna be fucked up.
Yeah. But it's like Switzerland. Bro, it's like comparing Hong Kong to Switzerland. It's like such a different situation, man. Such a different situation,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have the similarities. Hong Kong, had a very good financial industry. Switzerland does as well, but what Switzerland does, we don't have. For example, like the Proton email, this kind of the innovations.
Sure.
Yeah, for the privacy consortium solution based on open source technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really awesome. Like, like to store your data into the old military bunkers nearby the Geneva, which being restricted by the very restrict privacy law.
Yeah.
And then they have this Open GPG, this JavaScript version,
Yeah.
which means your passphrase of your account is only the decryption keys for the further decrypted, those your real PGP keys
Right.
inside of that machine.
Mm.
I mean, in the law level, yeah, in the laws level, that your privacy has been guaranteed somehow, and in the technical level, you own your fucking own data.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I suppose that's one other thing we can plug during this Indaba, which is to Hong Kongers, which is like move away from Gmail, move away from these things.
Of course.
Set up a Proton Mail account.
Stay away from any big corps.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Do you think that?
I think we should probably leave it on that note. Stay
Yeah,
away
yeah.
from any big corp. And
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Before you're gonna do the wrap up,
Yeah.
I'd like to.
go for it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'd like
Do you have
to-
any? If people want to contact you, if they want to if they want to support your project, the Hardened
Yeah.
Hardened Linux project, this is now let
Oh,
people know about it.
okay. Yeah, if you guys want to support the Hardened Linux, you can either make the donation via the Bitcoin, or you can just donate your fucking money to the other free software projects you like, and that's it. But yeah, in the end, what I want to say, I really like to quote one of the old Hebrew saying. It's Hako Taleva, means everything will work out in the end because individual is the fucking key. Thank you very much.
Bravo! I'm sure the fucking word wasn't in there,
Okay.
but you're right. Everything boils down to the individual.
Yeah.
Sean, thanks, man. I really appreciate this,
Thanks for inviting, Store.
dude. All right, let's wrap this up now.
Okay.
Okay. Bang. Bang.